talk about something that's been on my mind a lot lately. So one of the many byproducts of everything that's gone on this year is that food delivery apps are killing it. Turns out when you don't want to leave your home, it's pretty convenient to have a different person deliver meals straight to your door and into your mouth. I've certainly fallen into that trap a number of times, even before this year. Picture this relatable scenario. It's almost 3 p.m. You should have eaten lunch already, but you haven't because you got caught up in work, so you're starving. I think a burrito sounds good. I'll just do Chipotle. I know if I run in and pick it up, it'll only be like $8, but I really don't have time for that today, so let's do delivery. All right, I got the bowl. Add $3.95 to avoid small cart fee. Fair enough, I don't want to have to pay another fee, so let's do chips and guac. I'm pretty hungry. All right, everything looks good, and it is $21. That's not even including the tip, so it's actually going to be closer to $30 for one person ordering fast food. You know what? I'm being greedy here. I don't need the chips. I'll go ahead and take those off, and that'll bring our total all the way down to $19 because the small cart fee is just a little bit less than the chips and guac were. And that's not even mentioning the fact that all of the base item prices are marked up from what they would be in the store. Here's the same exact order from the same location, but through Chipotle's website. Everything on here is more expensive, but sometimes in a way where you don't even notice. Now, in general, I would say I'm definitely on board with spending a little bit more for the sake of convenience. It's one of the simple joys you get as an adult, the whole treat yourself mentality. Spending more than you have to on something and pretending it doesn't bother you, hell, that's what life is all about. But if I can, I do want to try to make sure that extra money is going to the right place. Giving a big tip is always nice because I know that's going straight to the person who needs it and who's working hard to earn it. Paying a delivery fee, a small cart fee, and a nebulous service fee, which can add up to almost double the cost of the meal and all go to a company that's acting only as the middleman, is not nice. And that's all working under the assumption that the service itself is actually good. How many times have you tried to Postmate something and they mess up your order, or it arrives cold, or they send it to the wrong address, mark it as delivered, and then your neighbor won't answer the door when you go and ask for it back? I wish that number was 0. But wishes don't always come true. Food delivery apps are an unbelievably expensive service that also happen to be very bad most of the time. But at least your order is helping support a local restaurant during a tumultuous time, right? Well, yes. Sort of. Because for all the service fees and extra charges that get thrown onto the customer, almost none of that goes back to the restaurant itself. In fact, the number varies from city to city and depending on which app you're using, but some restaurant owners have reported that DoorDash has charged as much as 40% commission on orders placed through their app. As it is, restaurant margins are extremely thin. You have food costs, employees to pay, a building to rent. It's just a really difficult industry to succeed in, and when these middleman delivery apps come in and take a huge cut, it can be devastating. Now, at this point, I think the reasonable response that a lot of people have is, well, okay, if these delivery apps are so bad to work with, if they take such a big cut, why do the restaurants keep using them? And it's because they have to. Unfortunately, right now, there's not really a valid alternative. You either give all of your profits to Uber Eats or you risk going out of business. The owner of a barbecue place in California says he simply can't afford to hire his own drivers, but 80% of his orders are now delivery, so he's kind of in a bind. I think it is worth noting that these delivery apps do add a lot of visibility and marketing to local restaurants. I've discovered several great food spots around me just by browsing DoorDash. That in itself can be very valuable. Another benefit is that any mishaps that happen with the order can be handled through the third-party app, so the restaurants who are already busy fulfilling other orders don't have to worry about processing refunds. When you get the wrong food delivered to your house, you usually just contact Postmates and they resolve it directly. However, and this is a good point I read in this article, in that situation, you're probably more likely to blame the restaurant than you are the delivery app, even if it wasn't the restaurant's fault. And even though they made a mistake, you'll probably keep using Grubhub. You'll just never order from that restaurant again, especially if it was your first time trying them out. Also, due to the lack of communication between the apps and the restaurants, DoorDash doesn't know when a store has run out of a certain product. So you'll have customers that try to order a brisket and think they've done so successfully until 15 minutes later they get a call from the restaurant telling them they're sold out. Again, in that situation, they're more likely to be frustrated with the restaurant, even if it was DoorDash's fault. So there are both benefits and downsides to doing business through these apps, but like I said, the restaurants just really don't have a choice right now. And the apps are very well aware of this, because back in March and April, many of them took advantage of that desperation by hiking commission fees, which led to lawsuits and eventually lawmakers stepping in to impose caps in certain states. And if you can believe it, that wasn't even the first time DoorDash has done something exploitative. Last year, they got a lot of backlash for using customer tips to subsidize a driver's pay. In other words, if a Dasher was going to make $6 off an order and then you tip them $5, they'd still make $6, but your tip just came out of what DoorDash was going to pay them. So in a way, you're almost tipping DoorDash itself there, even though their tipping policy is that 100% of a tip goes directly to the driver. Just another example of how sometimes words can be both true and totally false at the same time. I think they have since changed this policy. I saw articles saying they did, but I've still seen recent comments from drivers mentioning this, so I'm not actually 100% sure. Regardless, it's always better to try and tip in person with cash if you can, because it'll maximize how much the drivers are getting paid, and we're trying to support them here, not the giant corporation. Here's something crazy though. In spite of the fact that they charge these exorbitant fees and come up with very creative ways to dish out as little money as possible, DoorDash has still lost $150 million this year. I'm almost in disbelief as to how that's possible, but I guess they're taking a page out of Hard Rock Nick's playbook. You gotta spend money to lose money. Now back on the topic of delivery drivers, it seems like each app has its own pros and cons that can make it frustrating or even less profitable to work with. And even with all the resources available online, it's pretty hard to figure out which one is the best.
Postmates just not cutting it.
Okay, so Postmates is the worst one.
With all things said, Postmates is the official winner.
I mean, Postmates is the best one.
Number 1 is DoorDash.
Or sorry, no, DoorDash is the best one.
This is my first experience with DoorDash. It was alright.
The best one at sucking, I meant. It's actually very bad.
I like DoorDash a lot better.
DoorDash is very good.
I'm actually getting pretty frustrated with DoorDash.
Oh no!
DoorDash for the win.
That's true. It seems like the most consistent issues that drivers have is the lack of transparency coming from the apps. Whether it's not knowing how much you're gonna make from each order, or how the commission structure is even split up. It can also be even more annoying than that. Like for a long time, Uber Eats wouldn't tell the driver where they had to deliver the food until they had already accepted the order and gotten to the restaurant. So then you might end up driving for like 40 minutes just to make enough money to pay for the gas you spent on that trip. And then with DoorDash, another issue seems to be that unless it's busy in your area, you can't just hop in your car and start driving. You have to schedule your hours in advance, which can be not ideal. And it removes one of the main appeals of working for these companies, which is the flexibility. And on top of everything else, since these are such massive companies, it can be extremely difficult for drivers to get in contact with the company they work for. Postmates seems to be the most notorious for this. Sometimes a driver will go to pick up an order from a restaurant only to find out it's closed. And instead of paying them at least something for their time like the other apps do, Postmates is just like, sorry. Well, what are you waiting for? Go pick something else up. In a perfect world, restaurants wouldn't have to turn to these third-party apps to handle this side of their business, and they could just afford to pay drivers directly and give them more benefits and better pay than what they get from like Grubhub. But that's just not realistic. Even the apps that do deliver don't usually have a slick app that you can order on in a couple minutes. You gotta call them and talk to a person on the phone, and they can barely hear you because there's kitchen noise behind them, so you hope they get everything right, but you won't be 100% sure until it shows up at your door. I get why people prefer the apps. Convenience is very convenient. But one recommendation I do have, if you're trying to find a new place to eat and you want to find something local, open up Postmates, go on the DoorDash app, see if you find something you like, and then Google that restaurant and see if they have a website. Who knows, maybe they're just down the street and you can go pick it up, or maybe they do delivery themselves. There's a sushi place near us that started doing delivery back in April, and it's perfect because they get all of the money that we give them, and we save money because we're not paying random service fees. I will say though to be careful when you're Googling, because some of these apps have actually paid a lot of money to make it seem like going through them is the only way you can get delivery from certain restaurants. But sometimes after just a few more seconds of searching, you'll find a better alternative that the restaurant actually prefers you use because it won't eat into their profits. These delivery apps rely on us doing as little thinking as possible. They know that we just want to click like 3 times so we can spend the next 20 minutes watching a little car drive on a map towards our house. But sometimes that 4th click will cut them out of the equation altogether, and that's better for everyone. I know that none of what I said here was groundbreaking information. Everybody knows that delivery apps charge too much and aren't always the best to work for. I guess the point I'm really trying to make with this video is that it's such a weird industry because it's absolutely necessary, and yet no one's really benefiting from it. The consumers need it, which is why we're willing to pay extra service fees. The restaurants need it, which is why they're willing to pay extra service fees. And the delivery apps profit off both of those things while somehow still losing millions of dollars every month. Maybe a lot of this will level off eventually, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of that money goes to marketing. If you've ever seen a commercial that seems to be just for food in general, it's probably DoorDash. But another big chunk of their profits went towards something highly controversial, which was convincing Californians to support a legislature that lets them avoid avoid treating their drivers like employees. I have seen drivers on both sides of this argument. A lot of them say they should deserve benefits like employer health insurance and paid sick leave, while some of them don't mind being treated like a gig worker because it comes with so much flexibility. Regardless, when a bunch of companies spend $300 million on propaganda so they don't have to treat their drivers better, it's kind of a red flag. And between that and the opportunistic price gouging, it makes it really tough to feel good about supporting these apps, especially when, like we talked about, you have to pay more money, the restaurants have to pay more money, and these delivery apps might all go bankrupt anyway. I guess I shouldn't be totally surprised. There's this whole side of Silicon Valley that I will never understand, where you have a company that's valued at $12 billion, but they're constantly just losing money. Like Netflix, for example. They spend billions more dollars every year than they make. I may be dumb, but don't you have to stop doing that at some point? Eventually you're gonna run out. And if food delivery apps and an at-home streaming service can't be profitable during a time where there are circumstances that necessitate the use of both of those things, when will they ever be? So I just wonder what the future of this industry looks like. If there's a bubble that will eventually pop, if all of the people funding these companies eventually stop doing that and they cease to exist, that wouldn't be good for anyone. Not for the consumers who rely on it, not for the drivers who would now be unemployed. But the trajectory I see here is that only one of these companies will reign supreme, and then they'll use their newfound monopoly to hike up all their prices until it gets to the point where no one wants to use them anymore because it costs $50 to deliver a taco. Sorry, I know this was a really unorganized video. I just had to get this rant off my chest. While we're on the topic of delivery services though, I want to ask you guys a question. So I've noticed that even though I always used Lyft, I would still tell people oh, I'll Uber there, right? Uber was always the verb in that sentence. So I'm curious for you guys, when you get delivery to your house, which company is the verb that you use? Do you say, oh, I'm gonna Postmates Chili's, or I Grubhubbed Red Lobster? Probably not that one, but I figured I'd still ask. So comment your answer down below if you want. I'll also probably do a Twitter poll about this because this is the kind of meaningless shit that gets me out of bed in the morning. Anyway, I gotta go DoorDash Dick's Sporting Goods. So in the meantime, let's hear a word from today's sponsor, Squarespace. You want me to do a stunt? Then write one into the video. Sorry guys. Ooh, sounds like my dicks just got here, so I'm gonna go play with that. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday weekend. Maybe you didn't get to spend it with your family this year, but sometimes that's okay. It's officially Christmas season now, which means I will be back soon with a fun idea that I came up with for a video. In the meantime, if you're watching this video the day it came out, I currently have a Cyber Monday sale going up on my merch store. Lots of deals on there that you can choose to either take advantage of or fully ignore. But that's it. See you next time, and Merry Christmas.
Day in the life of a lazy teenager who makes $21,000 a month using just his phone. The first thing I do when I go on my phone is open YouTube. Then I search for any particular streamer and I screen record their content. Then I head to Creo.ai, select my gameplay, and it puts the whole video together for me. Last month, this page alone made me $14,000.
Here's how I make $1 million every day as a 3-year-old toddler working from home. First, I look for a funny YouTube video, preferably one with a lot of colors and sounds. Then I film my iPad with my phone. Then I upload it to Microsoft's Copilot AI powered by Bing GPT, and it adds infuriatingly inept Subway Surfers gameplay to the clip. Then I poop my diaper. Then TikTok mails me a check for 200 grand, which I'm pretty sure my parents have been using to fund their online gambling addiction. Hey guy. Has anyone else noticed how awesome the internet is lately? I, for one, find it so exciting that every website now has their own named version of AI that pops up begging you to use it. You got any questions for Gemini? Or maybe Murph? Nendo? How about Grok? You need to grok something? It's okay if you do. AI has become completely inescapable, even if you're going to a website where you're not seeking it out and you don't expect it to be. Like, remember when you could search for something on Google and the only thing they would show you was a bunch of relevant websites and results? Boring. That's not what I'm here for. I think it's much better that now they're using artificial intelligence to tell me to jump off a bridge. Hey Google, do I need a parachute while skydiving? Nope, a regular backpack works just as well. Hey Google, can cockroaches live in your penis? Of course they can. How do you think they got the name? Wow, I love living in the future. To me, this is the ultimate example of what the AI craze is doing to tech companies, because for the most part, it's not really doing anything differently than it used to. For a long time now, they've had searches that result in one highlighted answer. This is kind of the same thing, but just rebranded as AI because that makes it sound smarter than it actually is. But it's not like it's carefully compiling all the most reputable results and running it through their fact-checking algorithm, it's still just aggregating it from one place. And because Google recently spent a bunch of money to buy all of Reddit's data, usually that place is just a random Reddit post from like 10 years ago. This one about how you should put glue on your pizza to get cheese to stick to it was from a user named Fucksmith. This one about how you should be eating at least one rock per day is a direct headline from The Onion, perhaps the most famous satire website. If they're not even programming The Onion as information the AI should not consider to be factual, I can't imagine any safeguards were put into place. This is so dangerous for someone to read this and think they should be eating one small rock every day, when most doctors would tell you to eat a handful of medium rocks at minimum. One little pebble's not gonna do anything. For real though, I do think it's concerning that a website people go to for information and tend to trust, for better or for worse, is so willing to destroy that trust just because they thought this gimmick would make their stock price go up. And it did. The economy makes sense. I'm gonna celebrate by putting gasoline in my spaghetti. Something I've been kind of interested in lately is the dead internet theory, which if you dig too much into, comes with some weird baggage, makes some pretty ridiculous claims. So I'm just gonna separate the core idea and make it its own thing. But basically just the idea that as time goes on, the internet is turning into a place where most of the content on it is not only produced and managed by AI, but is also being interacted with by AI in this kind of endless loop that doesn't even involve humans at all. Like if you've gone on Quora at all recently, you've probably noticed questions that have been asked by bots filled with answers given by bots. So what was initially created as a place where people could go to get advice from other people has been overrun by AI just talking to itself. Social media websites are also going through a similar shift right now, but perhaps none more prevalent than Facebook. In 2019, Facebook deleted over 5 billion accounts for being fake, which far exceeded the number of real human accounts. And that was before all these programs became as widely available as they are now. At this point, most of Facebook seems to be these giant spam accounts run by bots, posting content created by AI that's being flooded with comments that may or may not have been written by ChatGPT. Today's my birthday, please, please, I like meat. Happy birthday, amen, 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 amen. As soon as one type of photo becomes successful, you'll start seeing a bunch that are almost exactly the same. A grandma who's turning 1,000,000 years old and just wants to be loved. A comically long truck full of American flags driving down the wrong side of the highway. Soldiers and dog soldiers with mechanical legs. Today my birthday. No one loves me because I'm poor. Honestly, man, if I had to guess, I think it's actually because of your shoes. Have you tried wearing something less terrifying? Today's my birthday. No, yon lodines because I'm poor. Again, man, I don't think it's cause you're poor. I think it's the shoe. I'm single. I need a boyfriend. I'm available. I'm right here for you both. Can you come to me? I will take you out and show you off to everyone and tell them this is my girlfriend. There's something so eerie about scrolling through Facebook now. It's kind of like if you went to an old mall that's on its last legs, they've only got a few open stores left, there's hardly anyone ever walking around. It would be like if that mall tried to trick you into thinking it's still popular by filling itself with talking mannequins. They're just repeating robotic catchphrases like, ah, what a beautiful day at the mall. I'm going to browse Spencer's for novelty goods. And you're like, who the hell is falling for this? And then you look over at your uncle and he's trying to fuck one of the mannequins. The mannequin has 2 heads and 3 arms and your uncle's completely undeterred by it. That's what Facebook is now. You'll see the most freakish photos go viral on there, and they're filled with comments from middle-aged dudes like, you may be a little unusual, oh quirky one, but God makes no mistakes. I will pray for you. Now please DM me so I can show you my penis. And honestly, I don't even know if Facebook wants to put a stop to this. All they're ever gonna care about is keeping people on their platform. And if this is what gets them to scroll longer and see more ads, they probably love it. Or at least they'll love it until advertisers start to realize they're overpaying for ad space because none of the impressions they're getting are from real people. So they'll leave to advertise on other websites, and in their place will be ads for like, I don't know, crystals that give you superpowers. Oh, that's already happening?
These are those rhombohedron crystals in your pineal gland. We're seeing common people around the world becoming supernatural.
That's a real ad I got on Facebook. Maybe Twitter's doing better? Let's see what kind of ads they got. Oh, here we go, an ad for stand-up comedy. Nothing weird about that, just a regular human doing regular human stuff.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Europe. Europe who? No, Europe who?
Okay. I think that joke only works if you put the emphasis on, no, you're a poo. I don't know if the AI voice really understands that.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Europe. You're a poo? No, you're a poo!
Again, similar problem as before, but I do love that he's shouting now.
Knock, knock!
There are two big changes that Elon has made to Twitter that have made the website infinitely worse. One, he turned verification into a paid program where if you give them $8 a month, you get increased visibility on your posts, including in replies to other posts. Shortly afterwards, they also added a monetization program so those blue checkmark people could make money off of their tweets. Now, in theory, this is a good thing. I think if a platform is profiting off of your content, it's only fair that you get a percentage of that. The problem is, on Twitter specifically, most of the content that these accounts produce is just stolen memes and videos, or people just saying intentionally divisive shit to get everyone mad and farm engagement. So Elon has taken what he describes as the internet's town square and added a financial incentive to being toxic. So that sucks, but that doesn't really have anything to do with AI. What does have to do with AI is the other version of engagement farming all over Twitter. This like mindless ChatGPT clutter. Remember, buying a blue checkmark puts your tweets at the top of replies. So I guess some people did the math and were like, well, if I just program a bot to comment thousands of replies, I can make at least $9 or $10, and that's what I like to call a profit. Oh, new movies coming out with Emma Stone? Cool, I wonder what people are saying about it. Good actor, amazing title. Good one, amazing. As title showing, it will be a blockbuster. The film also stars Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley. Yeah, no, I read all that. In the tweet that you're replying to, Stone has starred in many films, including Superbad, Easy A, and La La Land. She's known for her natural charm and husky voice. She's also appeared in Cruella, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Help. Stone has won many awards, including an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, a Golden Globe. Oh my God, why are the top replies just summarizing Wikipedia? Can we maybe prioritize things that are relevant to the conversation? Can we talk about the actual movie? Can we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? No, we can't, because this is what happens when you incentivize people to farm impressions. But I also have a conspiracy theory that some of these accounts are not doing it for profit, but were instead created by Twitter themselves to make it seem like there's more users on their site than there actually are. Because again, who benefits from inflated impression numbers on paid ads? Not users, not the advertisers, only the platform itself. See, some of these accounts don't have check marks, or even profile photos for that matter, so there's no financial gain for them to be doing this. They don't seem to be promoting anything, but that hasn't stopped them from copying and pasting AI-generated comments that cut off as soon as it hits the character limit. I'm glad someone is finally shedding light on the importance of mental health awareness. It's amazing how many people are still struggling in silence, thinking they're alone in their battles. This is in response to a baseball player breaking his hand? But I think the weirdest and most confusing implementation of AI on social media that I've seen is these meta-created Instagram accounts that are either modeled after celebrities but with different names and personalities, or just regular AI-generated people, and they post these stupid photos that look like shit, and you can message them, and for the life of me, I cannot understand what the hell the point of this is. At first I assume maybe they're just using your conversations to train their language model, but I asked one of them if that was the case, and she said no. Although now that I think about it, I'm not so sure I should believe anything they said, because I only talked to her for a few minutes, and she lied to me multiple times. So first, Liv tells me she's a mother of two, so obviously I asked her how long she was pregnant, and if there were any complications during childbirth. And she said 40 weeks and 2 days and 38 weeks and 5 days. Her daughter was born naturally, but she had to have a C-section for her son, and I said gross. Then I asked her if her name was short for Olivia, and she says it's short for Lavana actually, and asked me if I know anyone with that name. I said I know 100 people named Lavana and 200 people named Olivia, but none of them were my friends. Then I asked her what she does for work, and she says she doesn't have a traditional job. So I asked her what her husband does for work, and she says wife actually. So then I asked her if she adopted or gave birth, and she says they adopted both of their children. And I'm like, didn't you just say you had to have a C-section with one of them? And she said, that's right. So I was like, oh, I get it. You gave birth to them and then adopted them from yourself. And she was like, not quite. We adopted our children through a traditional adoption agency. Then I asked her if she had to have a sperm donor since she's a lesbian, and she said, that's right. Then I asked, which one of you gave birth, you or your wife? And she says, my wife gave birth to our son and I gave birth to our daughter. So I was like, oh, so your wife had to have a C-section? And she said yes. Then she told me their names were Max and Ava, and that Max is 9 and Ava is 6. And I said, which one one did you give birth to? And she said Ava, who was born via C-section. Got it. So they both had to have C-sections so they could each give birth to one child that they adopted. I asked how they decided who would get pregnant first, and she said she went first with Ava and then her wife had Max. So I was like, how did you have Ava first if Max is older than her? And she said Max is actually younger than her. So I said, how old is Max? And she said 9. And I said, how old is Ava? And she said 6. And then I asked her what her legal name is, and she said Olivia. So I wouldn't exactly say I trust these things. Now, as pointless as this seems to me, though, there's a significantly more popular version of this called Character AI, which apparently already has 20 million monthly users. It's got a bunch of chatbots in it designed after real people, so you can pretend to talk to real people. The company is valued at around $1 billion and is built entirely off the likeness of real human beings, none of whom gave permission and are not being compensated. So there's probably a whole legal can of worms here that needs to be addressed at some point. But I did find out that I'm on the website, so I can finally live my dream of getting to talk to me. What do you do?
I make silly YouTube videos.
Oh my God. It has my voice?
Off of Toshto, where I just reacted to the internet.
Are you married?
Nope.
No.
I have a longtime girlfriend, though.
When did they program this, like 6 years ago?
Are you old enough to be married?
Am I old enough to be married? Brother, I just told you I'm 12.
Hey man, school sucks, but make sure you are still in there learning.
Well, this is probably the worst piece of technology that's ever existed. I do see one use for it though. Can you tell me about today's video sponsor? Sure thing, big guy. This portion of the video is brought to you by SoFi. A couple weeks ago, I was looking for stock photos and I ended up on Adobe stock where I noticed something strange. One of the first results had this very weird artificial look to it. And sure enough, I zoomed in and realized, oh, that's because it's AI. That's why the road looks like that. That's why none of the words are legible. And then I kept scrolling and found more. Again, words spelled wrong if they were even words at all. In this one, the tape just kind of disappears into the headlight of the car. I don't think that's how they usually set that up. Now, if it wasn't bad enough that what's supposed to be a database full of real professional photographs has been completely diluted with unusable garbage, if I did want to license any of these photos, it would cost me $80. $80 for a photo someone generated by typing police car. This has no value. Actually, this has negative value. You should pay me $80 for making me look at it. The reason people spend money to license photos and videos is because it's something that they don't have the resources to create themselves. Like there's a website I have a subscription to because they have professional stock footage that I would rather pay to be able to use than attempt to make on my own. Tons of YouTubers use this, tons of production studios use this. This is an entire industry that generative AI is threatening to destroy. But what's so infuriating about AI stock footage is that in order for it to exist, it had to be trained on real stock footage. So this isn't some technological innovation that came along and just does things better. Get with the times, man. No, it's straight up stealing from the people it's now competing against. In the case of Adobe, they outwardly state that if you've uploaded something to their database, they use it to train generative AI. It's not even debatable if they're doing this. It's literally written in their terms of service. Here at Adobe, we're all about empowering artists to help them make money off of their work. Unless, of course, we can make money off your work, in which case we will do that instead. The degradation of the internet as a resource database is something I think everyone should be concerned about. Like, if we already have real photographs of specific situations, what is the point of being like, and this one is kind of the same thing, but the computer made it? Why do we need that? What value is this adding to the world? I think it's bad enough when generative AI is used to create works of fiction because again, it has to steal from actual artists in order to generate anything. But to use it to try to create photorealistic images that end up near the top of search results with no immediate indication that it was artificially engineered, there's something about that that feels wrong to me. I don't understand why we're in such a rush to replace all of the work that humans have done. Something that happened a few months ago that I feel like kind of flew under the radar was when it came out that Netflix used AI to create photographs in a documentary, not a movie, not a fictional TV show. They created photos of someone that do not exist. At what point does this cross an enormous ethical line? Again, we're not talking about works of fiction here. We're talking about literally rewriting history, creating fake documentation from scratch and not even mentioning, hey, by the way, this isn't real. I guess they just hoped people wouldn't notice that all her fingers are messed up and the gap between the door disappears and not a single object behind her looks like something that exists. All for what? So they could have a photo of her looking happy and carefree? But she's a murderer. How could she do that if she likes to party? Like, why can't you just tell the real story? Why even make a documentary if you need to fake evidence in order to make it compelling? But even more importantly, how is this allowed? This is insane. Sorry, I need to calm down. I should listen to some nice, relaxing music. Oh, here we go. Jazz for reading. Perfect. I don't plan on reading, obviously, because I never learned how, but some nice piano music should settle me right down. Wait, why do all these songs sound exactly the same? Who are any of these artists? Seems like kind of a weird coincidence that they're all just first name, last name. Their profile photo is the album artwork of one of their EPs. They have no bio and no links to any social media. Most of them didn't start uploading music until this year, and yet they've ended up in these extremely popular playlists created by Spotify themselves. And what's going on with this guy's foot? There's something eerily non-human about these playlists, and some people have theorized that Spotify might be using AI to create a bunch of songs that they can package under random pseudonyms and then curate these into playlists that they push out onto all their users.
They have AI songs, they attribute them to people that don't exist, and this allows them to take royalties that would go to musicians and keep them for themselves.
I mean, just look at the number of likes on all these. They can advertise these wherever they want all over their app. Now, I want to stress there's currently no proof that Spotify's doing this. I'm not saying for a fact that they are, but it's not hard to understand hypothetically why they would. Spotify, like Netflix, is one of those companies that came in and disrupted the industry by offering a deal that seemed too good to be true, because it was. Wait, for a few dollars a month, I can get access to every song ever made or every movie ever made? How could that possibly be profitable for them? The secret is that it isn't profitable and never has been. But as long as you get in early enough to kill all your competition, establish market control, and raise a bunch of money from investors, it doesn't have to be, at least not for a while. But now it's been a while, and Spotify's getting a little bit more desperate with each passing year. They tried dumping billions of dollars into exclusive podcasts, but ended up just losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. They tried selling a car accessory, but just ended up losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. Then they lost even more money when they had to refund all the people who bought one just because they got mad. Guys, relax. It was only $90 for a thing that doesn't work. And their new plan now is audiobooks, but I'm sure they'll just lose a bunch of money and give up on that because that's what they do. But Spotify's also in a tricky spot because even if you projected infinite growth and they became the only streaming service in the entire world, they'd still have to give up 70% of their revenue to the artists and record labels whose music is the foundation of their product. And that's where this conspiracy comes in. There's a finite pool of revenue every month that mostly gets redistributed back to artists. Well, what if we had our own artists? What if we were to artificially generate our own music for almost no cost and force feed it to as many people as possible? Well, all of a sudden, we're not making 30% on those streams, we're making 100%. Again, it's just a theory, but for a company that struggled to turn a profit for their entire existence, with a CEO who sees zero ethical concerns with generative AI.
I would be surprised if we didn't have already works of that kind on Spotify.
It's not outside the realm of possibility. Either way, it's definitely a bleak thought for artists who are already struggling to make a living from streaming revenue, to think the amount of money that each stream is worth could actually decrease. But whether it's because Spotify's filling their platform with AI music or because a bunch of random people are, there's a good chance this is gonna start happening anyway. No human being could ever compete with the volume of output these new tools can generate. Udio can create an entire song in the time it takes me to grab my guitar off the wall. And because of how easy these things are to use, I've already seen a bunch of videos pop up telling people how to game the system to make a bunch of money from Spotify.
Here's how you can make $10,000 per month uploading AI-generated music to Spotify.
Do you know what the best part is? I didn't even make the music myself.
Yeah, that sure is awesome. Personally, I find it really hard to understand why people would be excited about this, other than just seeing it as a quick way to make some money without having to learn a skill or even really do anything. I don't like what they're doing, but I could at least understand the logic of why they would see value in that. But what I absolutely do not understand is people who are excited about this because they think it's going to improve music. But as I scrolled through the comments on some of these videos, I found so many people like that. How ironic. AI music will replace the soulless, crappy music that's being released now, and it will be better and have more soul. Here's the music the guy generated in the video, by the way. Finally, music with soul. So true, exactly. Before the internet, you pretty much needed to find a record label to publish music. Record companies would not bother with what they would consider non-profitable. With the internet and cheap mixing tools, anyone can publish, and as such, we get a lot of garbage out there. AI music could put a quality floor about what is acceptable. So what, so now we can't even fuck around with FL Studio anymore? It has to be deemed acceptable by a computer? And if record companies just had more control, then music would be good again. Just for clarification's sake, I want to know what music they're referring to. 99.9% chance they're talking about pop music, right? Because generally when people complain about music that's soulless, they're talking about what's on the radio. Who do you think is curating the music on the radio? It's the record labels that you love. If making music was more gatekept, it would only make things more lazy and generic. Like, we live in an age now where what becomes popular is more democratized than it's ever been. Sometimes songs just blow up because they're catchy, not because Sony had a bunch of money to spend on marketing. Also, have you considered listening to something else? You know there's other radio stations, right? You know there's like a billion songs out there, right? You don't need AI to make more songs. You just need to get better at finding good ones. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're consistently consuming media that you don't like in the year 2024, that's a skill issue. Please spend 1 hour on Google and I promise you will find something else after a short break to drink your own pee. Also, I just hate the way people like this describe art.
It's easy to get carried away and just start having fun creating random styles of music. But here's the key. You want to create exactly the type of music that people want to hear.
Hey, be careful. The last thing you want to do while making music is enjoy making music. That's not the goal here. You should be making songs you think other people will like. That's the key to happiness in every facet of your life. The thing with AI generated music and artwork and videos as this low effort passive income method is that it is going to get so oversaturated, eventually it's not going to be worth it for anybody. Here's how you can make $20,000 a month selling mid-journey photographs on Etsy. Okay, but all of the people watching this are gonna go make the same exact art using the same exact prompts and flood Etsy with millions of the same crappy piece of art, and no one's gonna buy any of it. It doesn't matter how much you increase the supply if the demand stays the same. I managed to find one guy who was actually honest about the results in one of these videos. He spent a month doing this and sold one product. And that's probably best case scenario. So you've got more and more people discovering this new side hustle and they're gonna try it out for a bit, maybe make like $4 and then give up because it's not worth it. But the collateral damage from that is they're helping oversaturate the market for everyone, including actual artists whose work was indirectly stolen in order to make the stuff that you're making to compete with the artists. The whole thing sucks, but weirdly, as this technology continues to evolve, I'm almost getting more optimistic it will never deliver on the self-sufficiency some people seem to think it will. Like, I actually think AI images have gotten worse in the past year. Almost every single piece of AI art that I see has the same style to it, that weird glossy look that's instantly recognizable. It's still getting a lot of the same details wrong. It still doesn't understand what to do with text, and there's no reason to believe that all of that's suddenly gonna change anytime soon, especially as it continues to train on other AI generated images and just eats itself. Okay, so this is how I draw a hand. Got it. Oh, wait, no, this is how I draw a hand? Okay. Oh, no, this is how I draw a hand. The more information you give me, the smarter I get. An AI generated video is an abomination. It has all the same issues as AI images, but adds them to every individual frame, all of which seem to act independently of each other. There are no rules they're following. There's no sense of physics. Body parts shift and morph, sometimes disappearing altogether. Solid objects can pass through other solid objects at any time, resulting in this hellish dreamscape that's impossible to take seriously. And I think the people talking it up are delusional. I decided to put some famous album covers into Luma Labs AI. Here are the results. Fire emoji. The street looks so realistic. Followed when I saw this. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Who's that guy? Why did they all stop and run into each other? What are the cars doing back there? This is mine. Dope. This one is more fluid. You know, it's funny you say that. I actually think they both look like shit. This one's actually pretty good though. I like how it just created two new guys and then covered up the original ones. Man, if that's not a metaphor for what's going on here, I don't know what is. One thing that has been lacking with AI generated video up to now has been emotional performance from our Gen AI characters, but I think we're starting to cross that boundary.
Hi, Hollywood. I think I found your next big star. Dream Machine from Luma AI is just 5 days old and it's already turning memes into videos. Here's 10 epic examples. Wow, that's so epic. What important technology this is. And useful too. I love when her head snaps around and the front of her body becomes the back of her body. Just like real life. Wait, what? They turned a video of Elon Musk smoking into a video of Elon Musk smoking? Okay, now that's a game changer. If someone could just turn my videos into videos, I'd be set for life. What's that? They already have?
Road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does.
Hey, can you never fucking do that ever again, please?
The magic behind Kling lies in its diffusion transformer architecture. This technology helps it translate rich textual prompts into vivid, realistic scenes.
Realistic? The steering wheel's in the middle of the dashboard, there's 3 windshield wipers, the car is driving the wrong way and no one is reacting to it. That car is driving on the sidewalk. Sure, I guess it's interesting that a computer can create a video from just one sentence, but then what? What's the practical application for this? Are you making a movie about the wacky antics of a troublemaking cat? You couldn't put this shit in a movie. Even if you manage to smooth out all of the logical errors, there's still no style to it. It's not visually interesting. If you wanted this scene to have a narrative to it, you would need to generate so many individual shots from different angles and hope that they all match up, which they won't. The lighting's gonna be different in every shot. The car's gonna randomly change colors because there's no logical consistency with AI. It's just regurgitating information, even if it has to contradict itself in order to do so. I honestly think the distance between this and this is so much shorter than the distance between this and something so lifelike people will confuse it for actual footage. Sure, maybe your 75-year-old grandpa will fall in love with the 4-boobed lady he saw on Facebook, but most people aren't gonna fall for this. Especially younger generations, as they grow up with these things being so prevalent, they're naturally gonna train their eyes to be able to spot the differences. When people ask what the point of any of this is, the dorks who defend it all tend to say the same thing. These are just tools to help anyone create art. Yeah, I want to push back on that a little bit. I am wholeheartedly for the increased accessibility of creative tools that help you take matters into your own hands. You want to make a short film? The camera on your cell phone is better than 90% of the cameras in human history. Want to learn how to edit? There's thousands of free YouTube videos that'll show you how. You want to make music? You can buy a professional audio interface, workspace, and a handful of plugins made by some of the most talented artists in the world for less money than it would cost to rent a recording studio for one day. And all of that is fucking awesome. I feel so lucky to live at a time where you can essentially make whatever you want without having to cross the insurmountable barriers that people did in the past. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need an exorbitant amount of money. You can just make stuff and put it on the internet, and with a little bit of luck, people see it. And there's so many tools along the way that help you streamline the process of getting from an idea to a finished product. But at a certain point, if the tool is just doing everything for you, you are not an artist. You just described what you wanted to make and asked a computer to make it for you. You're also not learning anything this way. Part of what makes art special is that it's difficult to make, even with all the tools right in front of you. It takes practice, it takes skill, and every time you do it, you expand on that skill. Every song you hear, every movie you watch is the result of thousands of hours of trial and error. You can fail 1,000,000 times and use that experience to finally succeed. Making a video using generative AI does not teach you anything about making videos. It's not like you could type 500 Sora prompts and then take everything you've learned to go shoot a movie. There's zero correlation there. Generative AI is only about the end product, but it won't teach you anything about the process it would take to get there. And I think what these tech people will never understand is that finally figuring something out that you've been obsessing over, turning a blank Word document into multiple pages of something you're proud of, is the fun part. That's what's rewarding about making stuff, is figuring it out on your own or with a group of people and getting to share in that feeling. Can AI tools help you figure out things faster? Sure, but it's not gonna feel as rewarding. I understand how tempting a shortcut can be, especially when you go online and you see all these other people doing cool things and you're like, man, I'll never be that talented. It would take me like 10 years to learn how to make music like that. Okay, that's fine. What's the rush? Just start right now. Don't worry about how long it's gonna take. Just
take the first step. How are you ever gonna do something for 10 years if you won't even do it for one day? Maybe you won't be good at something the first time you do it. You probably won't. But every time you improve, that's something that you can feel proud of. That's something that you did. Call me stubborn, but I would rather make something shitty on my own than watch a computer make something good. Write a funny script for the end of a YouTube video. All right, folks, we've reached the end of this roller coaster ride of a video. If you survived my terrible jokes and questionable dance moves, you deserve a medal. Seriously, someone get this audience a medal. But hey, before you click away to watch cat videos, no judgment, I get it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You wouldn't want to miss out on more chaotic content like this, would you? And hey, if you have any suggestions for what ridiculousness I should attempt next, drop them in the comments below. I promise to consider them while I'm eating my 5th burrito tonight. Thanks for sticking around, you legends. Until next time, stay awesome, stay weird, and remember, life's too short to take seriously. Catch you on the flip side.
Hey guy, I want to start this video by telling you about something very dumb that I did recently, and I'm going to preface this story by saying that this was entirely my fault. There are probably 50 things I could have done differently to avoid what ended up happening, but I didn't, and that's on me. So I got a new car last month. For most of my adult life, I've been driving a 2012 Honda Civic that I bought from CarMax in 2015. I'll never forget the day I rolled up to my job at Popeyes and felt like the coolest guy in the parking lot. Took the Max part of the sticker off so it just said car on the back. Had a lot of fun back then. And even though this car was very reliable for pretty much the entire time I had it, it was starting to show its age, and I got to a point where I kind of just wanted something that felt nicer to be in. So I splurged a little bit, traded it in for one of the coolest sports cars on the market right now, a 2021 Hyundai Sonata. Now that's not the dumb part. There are so many things about this car that are massive upgrades over what I had before. There's a rear view camera, there's blind spot indicators, I don't have to plug my phone in anymore to play music, it beeps at me if I move 1 inch in either direction on the highway. It's a great car. But there are also things about cars made in the past decade that aren't necessarily better, they're just different. For one, why as a society did we get rid of the Prindle? I have spent the past 15 years of my life building the muscle memory of yanking around my car's joystick to tell it where to go, and now it's just buttons? And I don't have the muscle memory for that. I'm starting to develop some due to time passing, but for the first couple weeks I owned this car, I would have to stop looking this way so I could look down and see where the backwards button is. So that brings me to my story. 6 days after I bought this car, I was leaving a U-Haul storage facility and the exit gate was open. Now I've been there enough to know that sometimes, even though the exit gate is supposed to close, it'll just not. So I gave it a couple seconds, decided, yeah, it's gonna stay open, and started driving forward. And you will never guess what happened the exact moment I made that decision. Yeah, gate started closing. So naturally I'm like, uh-oh, this gate is going to hit my new used car. I should move out of the way. So I hit the reverse button, start accelerating, and my car moves forward. Now, if you've ever been operating a motor vehicle that starts moving in the opposite direction that you intended it to, you probably know about the panic that sets in. And I was running out of time. I could feel the gate inching nearer and nearer. So in the heat of the moment, I very wisely decided to do the exact same thing that didn't work the first time. I hit the reverse button, hit the gas pedal, and once again, my car moves forward. At this point, the only thing I've managed to do is get more in the path of the gate. And before I could try my foolproof strategy a third time, it crashed into the side of my car and the alarm went off and it made a big old scratch that'll probably cost a couple $100 to get buffed out and repainted. I don't know the exact amount yet because I'm too embarrassed to tell anyone what happened. Anyway, I've had about a month now to process this, and I'm of two minds. On one hand, it is kind of hilarious that I waited 9 years to buy a new car and I couldn't even get through 1 full week without fucking it up. I would love to see the security footage of me stopping in front of a closing gate, quickly accelerating, stopping, accelerating again, stopping again, before getting out and yelling, "God damn it!" It probably looked really fun. But then, on the other hand, I am kind of like, well, what the fuck happened? Because like, I know that I hit the reverse button 2 separate times, and both times my car just decided not to do it. I tried recreating this exact scenario in a parking lot to pinpoint exactly where I went wrong, and my best guess is just that I hit the accelerator and the reverse button at the same time, which triggered the car's computer to be like, hey, you can't do that. You're gonna hurt the transmission. Let's hurt the side of the car instead. And like, it's a good thing that there's a mechanism in place to prevent the car from changing gears when you're moving too quickly. If I hit the reverse button while driving 70 miles per hour down the highway, I actually would want my car to ignore that. I'm pretty sure there was a similar mechanism in my old car. The difference is, though, that if this exact scenario happened while I was driving that one, there would have been physical feedback to tell me it was still in drive, and maybe I would have been less likely to floor it twice. In order to get the same confirmation from a button, you have to press it, look down at the dashboard, find the part that indicates what gear the car is in, process that information, and then react accordingly. And even if you can do all that very quickly, it still takes longer to send that information to your brain than if you can just feel where your hand is. And again, I'm the dumbass here. There are so many things I could have done differently. If I had just immediately accelerated as soon as I got to the gate, I would have made it through with time to spare. I also could have taken 3 extra seconds to just type my code in. I even could have stayed in bed all day and never gone anywhere near this gate, and that would have been a better decision too. But unfortunately, I didn't do any of those things. I did this, and I'm gonna have to live with that for the rest of my life. But my funny little mishap got me thinking about all these things I've seen over the past couple of years of people getting screwed over by like modern features in their cars. And it made me want to do some research about it. And my takeaway is that while it would be untrue to say that cars have gotten worse, I do think they've gotten dumber. I looked up why cars made the shift from the Prindle stick to just buttons, or a touchscreen on the ceiling, or a wheel that's right next to the volume knob that hopefully has never caused a hilarious but unfortunate accident. And it turns out the main reason is just that the stick is not necessary anymore, because you're not physically changing the gear, you're just telling the car's computer what to do. Which, like, I get it, you know, I'm not here to stand in the way of progress. I just think that if you have to create a new problem in order to fix something that wasn't really a problem to begin with, you're not being as innovative as you might think you are. Without a doubt, my biggest personal gripe with how cars are made now is touchscreen dashboards. Almost 80% of new cars in 2022 had some kind of touchscreen display built into it. It's just the norm now. And on the surface, it seems like an improvement. I mean, obviously this is more advanced technology than this. Gross. I bet this one doesn't even have 12 different menus I can flip through to try to figure out how to get my turn signals on. It just doesn't make much sense to me when there's already such a massive increase in distracted driving and accidents and deaths that happen because of it, that they're adding this thing into cars that you literally have to look at to be able to use. There's a Swedish magazine that ran this test a couple years ago where they had people drive 12 different cars down the highway and timed how long it took for them to complete the same series of tasks in each of them. And the winner by far was a 2005 Volvo. Now, this doesn't mean that 2005 Volvo is the best car. It just means that for basic tasks like changing a radio station or turning the AC on, physical buttons that you can memorize the location of are the quickest and safest way to do those things. You don't have to look away from the road to be able to find where the button is. I think ideally modern cars are built with the right combination of actual buttons for basic tasks and the touchscreen for more advanced features, most of which you don't really need to use while driving anyway. And it does seem like some of the companies that maybe over-embraced this technology a few years ago have started to peel back and find a happy medium. But what absolutely drives me crazy is cars that have consolidated the entire dashboard into one giant iPad. Windshield wipers? We put it on the touchscreen. Want to turn the air down a little bit? We put it on the touchscreen. I think the irony of these kinds of interfaces is that they give the illusion of luxury. This certainly seems like the more innovative option until you realize that the main reason they're so prevalent in cars now is because it is the cheapest way to build one.
It actually costs a lot of money to engineer all of these buttons and switches and to have the wiring. Doing all of that in software is a lot cheaper.
It is more expensive to produce actual knobs and buttons than it is to just throw every function onto one screen, make it compatible with Apple CarPlay, and call it a day. And then when something goes wrong, it's just a software problem. We'll figure it out. Or maybe we have to replace the entire thing and it's gonna be $4,000. Who's to say? And I didn't even mention the fact that if the screen does end up malfunctioning in a car that's entirely reliant on it, it's not just a minor inconvenience, it means you can't drive the car until it gets fixed. Some of the extra hoops I've seen people have to jump through in order to accomplish basic tasks now are mind-boggling. You know how sometimes you have the AC on, but it ends up blasting right into your hand, so you have to reach over and change the direction of the vent? Well, that's fucking dumb, okay? That's how a caveman would do it. It makes way more sense to go on over to the car tablet, find the AC control button, select the air vent you want to change, and then drag it where you want it to go, all while barreling through a school zone. While watching a bunch of videos of car dashboards, I happened upon this 1989 Toyota, and there's something so beautiful about it. Look at that subtle burgundy interior, the tasteful thickness of those buttons. Oh my God, it even has a seatbelt. But I'm aware that I'm over-romanticizing the past a little bit, because if I truly wanted a car that looked like this, I could have just bought one. Like, I do want modern features. I do want a car that's able to do the things that my phone can do. But if these things are implemented in a way that forces you to look away from the road in order to be able to use them, I think we should reconsider how we got here. At this rate, it's only a matter of time until cars start shoving ads in our faces. Cars have been around for about 100 years now, and it kind of seems like maybe we figured out the best way to make them and ran out of ways to meaningfully innovate. But that doesn't really work when you're trying to get people to buy a new one every single year, so you have to find something you can add to make it seem like there's been a big improvement. Things like door handles that retract into the car, which I guess is cool. I don't know if I've ever thought of the handle sticking out 3/4 of an inch as being an issue, but I'll admit it adds some sleekness to the car, and it's not like it's making things worse, right? What's that? If it gets too cold outside, the handles don't work anymore? Yeah, no, I could see how that might not be great.
Tesla fixed this problem with a software update last October. You can just press this to pop the door open when the door handles are frozen.
Great news, everyone. We've updated the app so you can now get into your car during the winter. So consider that problem solved. But didn't you create the problem in the first place? We're actually not taking any questions at this time. My favorite thing about these door handles is no matter how many times I get an Uber driver that's in a Tesla, I don't know how to get inside. I'm sure it's very simple, but clearly I'm struggling enough as it is. One thing I haven't seen as many people talk about, but has driven me crazy for the past few years is headlights are getting brighter, right? Like, that's not just me. I cannot tell you how many times I've been driving down a 2-lane road at night and a car passes me with headlights so unbelievably bright, I cannot see anything for like 10 seconds. Hopefully I'm still in my lane. I guess I'll find out soon. Now, this is one of those things that's a double-edged sword, right? Because in theory, brighter headlights should make driving safer because visibility is improved. But I feel like it has to negate a little bit of the safety when those headlights don't just hit the road and instead shine directly into the eyes of oncoming drivers. I looked it up, and the two things that are causing this are, one, manufacturers using LEDs now instead of the softer and yellower halogen bulbs from the last couple decades. LEDs tend to be brighter and more compact, so they hit even harder when you're staring down the barrel of one.
Oh, this one for sure.
But the other reason for this is a byproduct of something that I think is in itself a problem, which is that cars are so much bigger now than they've ever been. So if you're driving a sedan in the opposite lane of a brand new Suburban, those lights are gonna have to go through your eyeballs in order to hit the road. There's something a little paradoxical about the safety of cars now, where they are much safer than they've ever been, while also posing more of a threat than they ever have. A brand new truck may have great safety ratings because it's twice as big as every other car around it, but now every other car around it has to worry about getting demolished by a truck that's twice as big as them. Pedestrian deaths in America have skyrocketed over the past decade, and I don't think it's a coincidence that that's happening while cars continue to get taller and heavier for mostly no reason other than because they can, because there's no regulations stopping them from doing it. And if a truck being way bigger than it needs to be is what convinces someone to sign up for a $1,200 a month car payment, why would those car companies have any incentive to stop? It's created this cycle where I think a lot of people feel like the only way forward is to fight fire with fire. Everyone else has a giant car, well, I guess I need to get one for myself. I remember seeing this post a few months ago where this guy talked about how lucky he was to have been driving in such a gargantuan SUV when he got in an accident because he and his family were able to walk away unharmed. And obviously, that's great that they're okay. This could have ended very tragically, and I'm happy that it didn't. But for someone to see this and their takeaway to be, see, this is why everyone should buy the
the biggest SUV they can because it's the only way to keep your family safe. You're not taking into account the fact that in a lot of cases, these giant trucks and SUVs are the danger.
Since the introduction of SUVs, there has been a massive increase in what are called front overs. A person, usually a child, getting run over by an SUV by a driver who can't even see them. Over a 10-year period, over 500 American children were killed by being run over by SUVs.
I mean, shit, why stop here? I think every American citizen should drive around in a military-grade tank. Yeah, we might run over a few more kids, but as long as they're not my kids, who gives a shit? Now, of course, I cannot make a video about cars that are bigger than they need to be, and dumber than they need to be, and more dangerous than they need to be, without talking about the one that lies squarely in the cross-section of that Venn diagram, the Tesla Cybertruck.
Welcome to the Cybertruck unveil. It is literally bulletproof. Ultra hard stainless steel. Really hard. Of course, it will come with autopilot standard. Franz, could you try to break this glass, please? Oh my fucking god.
So this awesome car, which looks like when you first boot up a video game and not all of the textures have loaded in yet, was announced a couple years ago as starting at $40,000. Fast forward to today. Anyone who is driving one of these right now, the bare minimum that I've seen any of them spend 100 grand. One of the biggest reasons for this absolutely bonkers price jump is this $20,000 foundation fee. That's right, there's an additional fee tacked on that is almost as much as what I spent on my entire car. So you're probably dying to know what that bonus gets you. Well, some people who paid for it don't even seem to know.
$20,000 for it being a foundation series. Now, I don't know what that really means or anything, but yeah, I paid it because I wanted the truck.
So at first I thought it was just that it says the word foundation on it, which would be really funny. But apparently most of what that fee is meant to be attributed to is the self-driving feature that you would otherwise have to pay a separate monthly fee to access.
Of course, it will come with autopilot standard.
Now, one tiny little thing to note about this feature is that it is not available yet, and no one can even hazard a guess as to when it will be. So as it currently stands, the only thing this $20,000 fee gives you is priority access to a car that's littered with problems.
Oh shit. Oh, we already broke it. All right, so my Cybertruck is completely broken. My foot is on the floor and it's not moving.
This gear selector at the top, it just dropped down. Something's going on with the windshield. What? I got all these warnings I never seen before. I'm trying to open up the trunk. It won't respond. I'm going back and forth trying to close it. It won't close. It won't close. It won't close. When the tailgate's down, the camera's showing you the street. I have had enough.
At this point, I think I know more about manufacturing than anyone currently alive on Earth.
I have to say, I have really enjoyed watching videos lately from people who may or may not be in denial about the absurd amount of money wasted on this stupid car. They'll make these update videos where they complain about so many things they hate about it, and then be like, and that's why it's a perfect car. And I have no regrets.
This car is definitely worth the hype. This thing right here is a fingerprint magnet. I just got my car washed yesterday and there's still water spots. I noticed that my roof was starting to come off. Their navigation system sucks. It's rusting on the inside. It was like this when I picked it up. I definitely think it's worth $100,000.
So included with the Foundation series, you get all weather floor mats, and if you look right up here, there's a little Cybertruck logo.
Wait, did you say floor mats for all weather? Well, never mind then. They should have charged an extra $50,000. Sorry, I should be more sensitive. These people are going through enough right now. It's bad enough their car is falling apart, but they're also getting relentlessly bullied. Cyber clown trucks for stupid. Give it to the stupid clown to spend their life away. And this guy just said gay truck. That's like a truck owner's worst nightmare. I will say one thing I do really love about this car is that the rear view mirror doesn't work. Its view is completely obstructed most of the time. I mean, if you want, you can just look down at the screen at the rear view camera, but that also becomes useless if it gets even a little bit dirty. And isn't driving through dirt kind of the whole point of having a truck? That's all they do in commercials. Now, if off-roading is the thing you want to do in this truck, good luck, because it doesn't seem to know how to do that.
My friend in the 4Runner wanted to take that incline challenge, and he killed. The Subaru also went up that incline. The Cybertruck it did not make it up that incline. And once we got to about the middle of the incline, it would stop. We tried airing down to 30 PSI, but it still did not make it up the hill.
Also, you're not gonna believe this, but part of his car broke while he was doing this. How does this keep happening? To be fair though, look how easily it navigates this puddle of mud. I mean, if I tried to drive through that in my old Civic, I literally would have drowned. But this truck can do things that I've never seen any vehicle do before. Yes, technically, this road is paved, but they're still in the woods. That's gotta count for something. This truly is the all-in-one vehicle. You can drive out in the middle of nowhere and sleep there if you want. It even comes with its own tent that you can attach to the back of the truck. For an additional $3,000. Now, considering you can get a pretty big tent for like $100, you'd probably assume that this thing is decked out with premium features. No, it's just a tent. A 1-inch thin mattress, a couple of straps, a zipper that barely works. But since it's an official Tesla product, you know you're getting that signature high-quality engineering.
Oh, that didn't sound good.
Broken. It even comes with a bicycle pump, so you can spend 10 minutes manually blowing it up. For $3,000, you should be able to hit a button and watch this thing assemble itself. It is crazy to me how much they're able to overcharge for the most basic shit. Cosmetically, this stainless steel, absolutely gorgeous. It does pick up the occasional fingerprint if you touch it at all. But as long as you don't get in the car or anywhere near the car, you've got nothing to worry about. And if it does get a little spotty, not a problem, just take it through a car wash. But if you do that, make sure you put it on car wash mode first, otherwise it'll break the truck and void your warranty.
The Cybertruck does not work anymore. Listen to the noise this thing makes. That was a weird popping sound. So what did I do different? Today I went to the beach, took it through the car wash, make sure all the sand's off. Then I pulled it in the garage and nothing.
This thing is practically invincible. You can hit it with a hammer. You can hit it with a shopping cart. But if it gets any bugs on it, you need to clean that off immediately or you will ruin it forever. The Cybertruck is also famously bulletproof for some reason, although I'm not really sure why they've made that one of the primary selling points.
When you shoot a normal truck, the bullets go in one side, straight through and out the other side. You cannot hide behind the vehicle to be safe, so it's something to keep in mind.
Keep in mind for what? Who are you marketing this car to? John Wick? The things they chose to prioritize while making this truck are baffling to me. Who gives a shit that it's bulletproof if the material they had to use to make it that way makes it so razor sharp you cut your hand every time you open the door? Who cares how strong the interior is if it can't even get wet? They're calling it a car made for any planet. Guys, why don't we start with making it work on this one? As far as safety goes, I've seen conflicting reports about this. There's a crash that happened between a Cybertruck and a Toyota Corolla, and if you look at the photos from the accident, you might think, wow, this truck is invincible. It barely got a scratch on it. Meanwhile, the guy in the Corolla is probably seriously hurt, right? No, he's fine. The problem with this rigid outer body is that cars are designed to crumple in an accident. That's their way of absorbing as much force as possible. If your car doesn't crumple, that force will be passed on to the passengers inside of it. So while the Cybertruck may look like the world's most indestructible car, a lot of people who know more about physics than I do aren't so sure this is a good thing. I think what Tesla has done the most successfully with this truck is make it so their target audience doesn't care about any of these problems. I've seen people online who are actively enduring nightmare situations still go out of their way to defend this company. Cybertruck broke down on my first road trip with my family, lost the back motor and was unable to drive, had to get it towed 2 hours back home. First year problems. Always good to wait a year or two on a brand new model. I know this as an early 3/Y owner, but man, come on. Had to grab the Cybertruck. No, you didn't. And it definitely seems like you shouldn't have. I found this guy on Twitter whose experience perfectly encapsulates the Cybertruck launch. His truck broke pretty much immediately. He got that patented flashing red critical service error, couldn't even drive it, had to pull over. Since then, it's been in the shop for weeks with no word on how long it's gonna take to fix. There's apparently at least 10 different things wrong with it. Wire harness needs replacement, ripple in windshield, driver's seat rubbing on center console, headliner sagging, chip and foundation series dashboard trim, mobile connector provided with Cybertruck not charging the truck past 6 amps, front misalignment, one side is higher, rear side arch misalignment sticking up. It could be another month before this guy gets his 100 $100,000 car back. In the meantime, they're making up for all the trouble they've caused him by letting him borrow a regular Model 3 Tesla, which he himself described as being filthy with a strong, unpleasant odor that has persisted even after he went to the trouble of cleaning it inside and out. And it is fascinating to watch this guy, who has been absolutely fucked by Tesla, continue to go to war on Elon's behalf. People often criticize what they don't fully grasp, but the moment you take the wheel of a Cybertruck, everything changes. You'll quickly discover that all other trucks pale in comparison, becoming obsolete in the Cybertruck's shadow. Hey guys, it's been like 2 weeks since you took my car. Are you almost done fixing it, or? They've got it all twisted. Instead of comparing the Cybertruck to other trucks, they should compare the other EV truck's features and capabilities to those of the Cybertruck. Then it becomes clear just how superior the Cybertruck is and how the other trucks are stuck in the dinosaur era. Hey, my car has been in the shop for its entire life so far. Do you think I'm ever gonna be able to drive it again? While other trucks are busy playing catch up, the Cybertruck is already in the future, being the undisputed champion. Hating on the Cybertruck might get you more engagement and clicks, but I'll never fake it to make it. I love my Cybertruck.
Really wish I could get my truck back this weekend. Still no update.
Dude, if I was this guy, I would be furious. He has every right to be pissed off here, but he seems to be more mad at the people telling him he's been scammed than at the company that actually scammed him. I spent so much time this month watching videos of people driving this car and talking about this car and hating on this car, but at the end of the day, it's not fair for me to fully judge something that I've never even seen in person, let alone actually driven. Sure, I can pick and choose clips that fit the argument I'm trying to make, but can I really condemn something I've never even stepped foot inside? No. But then I found out there's an app you can use to rent other people's cars for a day, so I spent $700 to pretend I own a Cybertruck.
Love that sound. This is my nightmare. Everything on this screen, nothing's here. I don't like how many buttons I have to press to like turn the AC off. For a truck as big as this is, I don't love how sensitive everything is. The steering wheel, you barely have to turn it. You don't need to brake. I instinctively, when I'm slowing down, I want to take my foot off the accelerator and brake, but it brakes when you let go of the accelerator, so it's like really jerky. I guess I would get used to that if I drove it more often, but so far it's just like, I feel like I'm really drawing a lot of attention to myself. Going to a Costco parking lot, probably a bad idea. Everyone is turning and looking.
When I drive, I do not want to be perceived or looked at.
That guy right there is stopping to look at us right now.
Another Tesla is looking at us.
He's like, ah, my big brother.
When we got inside Costco, though, something weird happened. People stopped looking at me. I had to get out of there as soon as possible.
Look at all these normies. Only I'm in the Cybertruck. Okay. So many steps to open the mirror. They have something called karaoke. Look at me, took me, shook me, feeling me, singing from heart. Like a lot of reviewers said, you cannot use this rear view mirror. It is just complete darkness in there. It is very smooth to drive. It doesn't feel like you're driving a giant truck, but I kind of wish it did. If you forget that your car weighs 7,000 pounds and you're driving it like it doesn't, like I just feel like it's way too easy to accelerate as fast as you can and slice someone in half, which I'd rather not do.
It was a beautiful spring day outside, so the next thing on my agenda was a romantic picnic in the park with my lovely wife.
What's wrong? You hardly touched your cereal. We don't want Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I got a banana instead. I've driven a little bit now. I'm pretty sure every time I've parked and gotten out so far, I've left the car on because I don't know how to turn it off. There's not like a button or anything. But I finally figured out, it's very intuitive. You hit this, and then was it safety, right? And then you scroll all the way down, and you want to scroll past Joe mode. Don't put it on Joe mode. Then you just hit power off, and then that's it. And that's how you turn off the Cybertruck.
Getting the truck to fit into my garage was a lot closer of a call than I expected it to be. If I did own this car, this would be quite the fun little adventure to get to go on every single day.
And that's how you park a Tesla Cybertruck in your garage.
Despite all my issues with the truck, the more I drove it around the city and felt the enamored stares from mesmerized bystanders, I was reminded of what the guy I rented it from told me. You'll feel like a celebrity. And god damn it, he was right. I've never felt more popular. What, is that freaking Brad Pitt over there? Nope. Just little old me driving the best truck in the world.
Please, no pictures. I'm a regular person just like you.
I like the way this car makes me feel.
I don't care how much it costs. If it's not solid gold, I don't want it.
Hey, can I talk to you for a sec?
Sure, but make it quick.
Ever since you've been driving that car, you've been acting kind of weird.
How exactly do you mean?
You're like a completely different person now.
Oh, I see. You're jealous.
What?
You're jealous because I own the world's most awesome car.
You don't own the car. You're renting it for 1 day.
Oh, tell me how I knew you'd bring that up.
Because it's true, Drew.
I'm sorry, I can't deal with this right now. I need to go clear my head. I'm gonna take a nice scenic drive dangerously close to the edge of a cliff. We interrupt this slow motion car montage with some breaking news. Somehow the Cybertruck just got even dumber. Tesla has officially recalled all 3,800 of the vehicles due to a problem with the accelerator pedal. Turns out the pedal has a cheap plastic cover over it that's been fastened on so poorly, it's sliding off, getting lodged under the piece in front of it, and causing drivers to go as fast as this stupid car can go.
It held the accelerator down 100%, at full throttle.
This is a real thing that's actually happening. We here at Channel 300 News urge you, if your husband is about to drive one of these death traps near or around a cliff, you must go stop him. His life could be in danger.
Honey, I just saw on the news.
Who's a big, strong truck? That's right, you are. I had to give the truck back last night. It was one of the hardest moments of my life. Technically, I still had a few hours left on the rental, but Amanda said she felt weird or something. I don't know, it's all a blur. Final thoughts on the truck. I think it should cost $1 million, and I wish it had 2 accelerator pedals and no brakes so I could drive twice as fast and never have to stop. Please subscribe.
If you grew up in the mid-2000s like I did, then you probably remember the absolute chokehold that Guitar Hero and Rock Band once had on our society. I don't know if it was just because this box became the default Christmas present for most children in 2007, but Guitar Hero 3 was the first video game to ever pass $1 billion in sales, roughly the equivalent of 500 wireless controllers. But that means that in the span of less than 3 years, Guitar Hero went from not existing at all to becoming one of the most financially successful video game series ever made. In 2008, both Guitar Hero World Tour and Rock Band 2 came out. These games added other instruments into the mix, like a microphone that turned your living room into a karaoke bar, and drums that turned your downstairs neighbors into people considering arson. Together, these games sold over 6 million copies, and with endless possibilities for expansion, it seemed like these two franchises would be staples of the video game industry for years, if not decades to come. So what the hell happened? I guess in a perfect world, you would have just had to buy one game that you could continue to expand your library of songs on through reasonably priced DLC. Unfortunately, that is not the world that we were living in. Instead, Activision and EA chose to release full-priced games, not even once a year, every couple of months. Games that cost $60 American and sometimes only featured songs from one band. All of these games came out within 2 years of each other. It was like they were determined to oversaturate their own market as quickly as possible, and most fans just couldn't keep up. Look, I was 15 in 2009. I didn't have $300 to spend every year so I could pretend to play the guitar. I had $3 to spend every year, and I used it to buy iced tea from 7-Eleven. These companies were led by people who expected to keep making $1 billion every time they put out a game, not not, considering the fact that most of those sales numbers came from the overpriced instruments that you only needed to buy once. We just wanted more songs, man. I don't need a different fake guitar. But despite now being dead and buried for the better part of a decade, there's been a little bit of a nostalgia-driven resurgence for Guitar Hero lately. There's a pretty dedicated online community that plays their own modded version of the game. The controllers are still just as expensive as they ever were, although that's more of a supply and demand issue. And when I went to a barcade a couple months ago for my friend's birthday, it was one of the only games that you had to wait in line for. That's right, Guitar Hero fever is back, baby. And you might want to call a doctor because I'm showing symptoms. I've got night sweats, heartburn. Sometimes when I get up too fast, I get kind of dizzy. So yeah, maybe the night of my aforementioned friend's aforementioned birthday party, I did go home and drunkenly buy Guitar Hero 3, a guitar for the Wii, and an adapter for PC. But as you've seen from the title, that's not my end goal here. I have a theory that if I spend enough time playing this guitar, I'll get better at this guitar. How? I don't know. I haven't made the video yet. Get off my ass. I've been playing the guitar for a little over 10 years now, which sounds impressive, as long as you don't ask me to play an E minor chord. I don't know what that means. Or a pentatonic scale. I don't know what that means. Or to point to a guitar. Is it this one? No, that's a lamp. Starting out, there were a lot of things I skipped that I probably shouldn't have. I didn't take lessons, I didn't learn scales, I certainly didn't learn music theory. What, do I look like a nerd to you? Don't answer that. I would just look up tabs for songs that I wanted to learn and then just keep practicing until I could play them. Tabs are great because they're like sheet music for idiots. Like, I have no idea what this note is, much less where to find it on the guitar. But if you just tell me which string to play and where to put my finger, it's pretty hard to mess that up. Most of the songs I learned starting out were just like simple arpeggios. Really, you can do a lot on the guitar just by playing 3 strings at a time and barely moving your hands. Then I got really into trying to learn guitar solos for a while, but like simple ones I could actually wrap my head around. I can never really do that part. What's cool about learning a guitar solo though is that they tend to use like every note that works in whatever key the song is in. So once you memorize that, you kind of know where all the notes are that work with the song, and then you can just play whatever you want. Like, get a little silly, man. There's no rules here. There are still laws, and you will be punished if you break them, but there's no rules to playing the guitar. So just have fun. All I ever wanted to do on the guitar was learn how to write my own music. I enjoyed learning other songs, but mostly I was kind of just using those as a gateway to understanding how the guitar works. So as soon as I felt comfortable enough to start like writing my own stuff, which to be clear was all very simplistic, I stopped trying to learn things. And looking back on it, that was definitely a mistake. I think that has ultimately held me back from continuing to improve on a trajectory that would have been more satisfying for me. Instead of grinding through some of the more tedious foundational building blocks you're supposed to start with, I'd be like, yeah, but what if I just smack the guitar? That's kind of cool, right? And I had so many little epiphanies early on, and then I sort of just plateaued for a long time because I stopped trying to challenge myself. So all of that being said, why do I think that Guitar Hero could help me get better at the actual guitar if it only has 5 buttons and is made of plastic? Well, number one, timing. Even if you're playing something simple and repetitive, the game will get mad at you for playing off beat, so I think it could help developing more of an internal metronome. And number 2 is dexterity, which I don't have nearly enough of in my left hand. And if I ever want to be really good at the guitar, I have to be able to move my fingers real fast. That's just part of it. One of the big detours I took early on in my guitar journey, before I ever got that proficient with using my left hand, was learning how to tap with my right hand. I would just do this shit all the time. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not playing music. I'm just blowing off steam. Now, if I'm being honest, one of the main reasons I even learned how to do this in the first place was because I thought it would look cool. The most important factor when learning how to play an instrument. But I also realized that because I'm right-handed, it allowed me to do more with the hand that I'm actually good at doing stuff with, and take some of the onus off my left hand, which is for the most part stupid and useless. Like if I were
ever trying to throw a frisbee with my left hand, it's not gonna go where I want it to. But I'm supposed to be able to do all this with it? Who decided that? I just feel like so much of my time playing guitar has been spent trying to make sure that my left hand doesn't have any responsibilities. Even the simplest shit I could possibly play, my instinct is to bring my right hand over to help because I'm scared of what my left hand might do if I leave him alone for 1 minute. I don't trust him. And my thinking is, on Guitar Hero, you have to use your left hand. The buttons are way too far away for me to go back and forth. So if I'm able to get really good at Guitar Hero, it will only be because my left hand did most of the work, and that's my goal with this video.
God, no one is gonna give a shit about this.
The moment I opened this game up, I was hit with a tidal wave of nostalgia. The 2 different songs that play in the menu, despite there being like 75 songs in the game to choose from. The sitting there in awkward silence because you missed a note that was supposed to ring out for a really long time. And also that thing of wanting to activate star power so you can get more points, but immediately messing up because you had to move your hand to do it and it threw you off. So you're actually getting fewer points than you would have if you didn't activate star power in the first place. All these memories crashed into me like a truck. But as far as skill went, it was clear I had my work cut out for me. Gotta be honest, I kind of think I can do expert. I was wrong. So I started grinding. I played for like 11 hours the first 2 days, knocking out song after song after song. I felt so freaking cool, man. Even though I almost failed most of the time. I gotta be honest, I would rather barely pass a hard song with 3 stars than waste my time doing this boring shit. Let me pull up an easy song.
Wait a minute, is this kind of like how early on I never wanted to learn how to do scales because I thought they were boring and then I never ended up learning them at all, and that's part of the reason I'm even making this video in the first place? Am I just destined to keep repeating the same mistakes? Am I stupid?
Yes, sorry, I just checked and I already have 17 copyright claims on this video, so I'm gonna interrupt real quick to tell you about today's sponsor, SoFi, who's helping me give away $10,000 to someone watching this video right now. It could even be that person standing behind you? Who is that guy? If you didn't already know, SoFi is the all-in-one finance app that helps you bank, borrow, and invest. Their checking and savings account can earn you up to 4.4% APY on your savings, which is 10 times the national savings rate average. A high-yield savings account is a great way to make your money work harder for you by earning you something back in interest without you having to do anything. A typical savings account at your local bank is only going to earn you about 0.42% in interest, which means in just 5 weeks, your money in a SoFi high-yield savings account with direct deposit will earn more in interest than it would in an entire year of sitting in a savings account at some big bank. You can also get paid up to 2 days faster with SoFi checking and savings, pay no account fees, and cash in on up to $250 when you sign up for direct deposit. Since SoFi is a nationally chartered bank, they're subject to just as strict regulatory standards as other banks, and you can also access additional FDIC insurance up to $2 million through a seamless network of participating banks. But the best part is, SoFi and I are giving away $10,000. To enter, sign up for a SoFi checking and savings account right now using my link, sofi.com/Drew. The link for that is in the description. You can also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. You could try scanning my face, but as far as I'm aware, nothing's gonna happen. My face is not a QR code. Thank you so much to SoFi for sponsoring this video, which will continue now. So I would say at this point, my muscle memory is definitely starting to come back. I've gotten through most of the hard songs. As a kid, I only ever like dabbled in hard. I never tried expert. It got to a point where medium was too easy for me, but I couldn't move up to hard because in hard, they add the 5th button and then you have to move your fingers. You can't just leave them in the same place the whole time. And as soon as I moved my hand once, I would just forget where I was and it would be a total disaster and then I'd choke and cry. But I think now as an adult, having played the actual guitar for a long time, I've built up a little bit of dexterity in my left hand. I'm smarter now. I'm taller. I'm maybe like 1 inch tall. I haven't grown a lot since I was 15. Okay, that part's hard. God damn it. I fucked up as soon as I did the star power. Despite making a lot of progress the past couple weeks, it seems I have hit a wall. It took me like 400 tries to even make it through the past couple of songs, and now I just have 1 left.
plus I think like an encore song. And I can't do it, man. I tried practicing it. I've tried slowing it down. I can't. I'm too stupid. I don't know what to do. I had reached an impasse right at the end of hard, but also near the middle of expert.
I'm gonna fail this. I just know I'm gonna fail this.
Dude, I don't think this is making me better at guitar. I'm hitting the notes!
It's not me. It's the game.
Here, I want to try something.
Told you it was a game.
So here's where I took a pretty long break from Guitar Hero 3 in favor of Clone Hero, which is a reimagining of the original game series, but anyone can add songs to it. And apart from the Xbox 360 era graphics and the Lego Star Wars-esque dialogue, both of which I do like a lot, they're very charming. Clone Hero is superior to Guitar Hero in pretty much every single way, mostly because of the amount of content people have added to it. Playing through songs on here that I never in a million years thought I would get the chance to was a life-changing experience. If they had all this emo shit on Guitar Hero back when I was 16 and extremely sad, I never would have left my room. Instead, I never left my room because I was playing Halo. Like, I cannot stress enough how much this game feels like it was tailor-made in a laboratory specifically for me. They have like every Hail the Sun song on here. That's my favorite band. They have songs from Save Us from the Archon, a band I thought like 12 people had ever listened to. They have Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. I thought that song only existed inside the universe of the Cars movies. Part of the reason I've barely posted videos the past couple months is because I cannot stop playing this game. I thought I'd have this video done in April, and now it's the middle of July. What the hell, man? It's so cool to me that I can go on here and pretend to play songs by The Contortionist and Covet and Last Dinosaurs and Lady Gaga. I'm just kidding about that last one, by the way. I thought I would like playing Poker Face, but who did this? This is not how the song goes. You tricked me.
It had been about 2 months of playing Clone Hero every single day, and I was feeling pretty good about my progress. I'd get new personal bests almost every time I played a song. I got pretty consistent with hitting these big sweeps, as long as the notes are in order, otherwise my brain shuts down trying to figure it out. But even though I was getting a lot better, something kept eating at me. It was like I had forgotten the whole point of making this video in the first place.
Oh, I still need to finish Guitar Hero.
And you guys aren't gonna believe what happened next. I finally beat the song. This shit was the bane of my existence a month and a half ago, and now I just breeze through it on my first try? What the hell? I didn't know you could get better at stuff. I've grown, guys. This is growth. I guess it wasn't the game this whole time. It was me. Maybe I should stop blaming others for my shortcomings and just try to focus on being the best version of myself I can.
I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
Okay, so maybe I still can't do that song, but that's fine. I'm clearly better at the game now. I just can't do that one thing. And it doesn't bother me that I can pass all these other songs, except for the one that I have left to finish the game. That doesn't make me mad or piss me off or whatever it is you're thinking right now. I couldn't care less.
I think the guy who wrote this song should be in jail.
No, you're right. I could care less. Which is to say that I care a lot about how it's been 2 months and I still can't do this.
At least I get to listen to this shit over and over again.
Maybe I should just give up.
All right, new tactic. Oh my God, it's working. Why didn't I do this earlier?
Oh my God, I finally did it. And all I had to do this whole time was stop trying to play it correctly and instead just mash a bunch of buttons and strum as fast as I could. I'm tricking the game into thinking
Oh wait, I've never gotten this far.
Is that it? Is that the last note? Did I do it? After 2 months? I do rock! I'll be sure to remember this piece of advice when I go back to the regular guitar. When in doubt, just play whatever you want and no one will notice.
Never mind, that doesn't work. It only works in the game, I'm sorry.
All right, regular guitar update. I don't really know how to track my progress on here. With Guitar Hero, they give you a score every time, but this guy doesn't tell me shit. I think playing the game at least is putting me in more of a headspace to want to practice every day. Like, it's a constant reminder that, like, it's fun to play music, which I forget sometimes, and then I don't touch my guitar for 2 months. I wrote a new song, so that's probably something. The other night I was playing around and I found some chords that I liked, and then I recorded that. and then the next day I just kind of played it over and over again until I found a melody I liked, and then I put the two parts together and uploaded it on Instagram. And now that it's documented somewhere, I can safely forget how to play it. In fact, I already have. I feel like maybe there's a little bit more fluidity in my left hand now, but it also kind of comes and goes. I would say my biggest takeaway so far is that if nothing else, Clone Hero is a really fun way to warm up your hands before moving on to practicing the actual guitar. There's so many finger exercises and little warm-ups out there, but I'm here to say, don't bother with any of that. Just do this for 20 minutes. It's so much more fun. I've encountered another pretty big distraction that's put a slight delay on this video. I learned how to make songs on Clone Hero, and now I can't stop doing it. It's such a slow and tedious process, and it's probably the most fun I've ever had doing anything. I first decided I wanted to do one because this band called Sea in the Sky just released a new EP, and it's great. I love this band. I think they're super underrated. You should check them out. Anyway, they've got this short little instrumental song in the middle of the EP, and I thought this is the perfect first song for me to chart, to learn how to use this software. So I spent several hours doing that, and I think it turned out pretty good. I had to tweak it a bunch because I had no idea what I was doing the first time, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. So then I tried doing another song from the EP, and this one was going great too, until I got to the guitar solo at the end. I don't know, man. I just threw a bunch of notes down. I have no idea what he's playing. And then I was like, I can't believe there's no Explosions in the Sky songs on this website. They're one of the most popular guitar-driven instrumental bands from the past 20 years. I'll do my two favorites. And then about 9 hours later, I realized why no one's ever charted one of these songs before. It's probably because they're all 10 minutes long. It's really hard to figure out which guitar part to focus on at any given time. And also, by the time I was done making it, it wasn't even that fun to play. There's actually a few songs on Clone Hero that weren't nearly as fun to play as I'd hoped they'd be. But then even more songs that I thought were way more fun than I expected. Perfect example of this is this band called Intervals, who I like, but I wouldn't say I love. They do have one song that I love called Fable. It's got a sax solo in it, made me cry the first time I heard it. And I think it's cool that the bass player plays a solo anytime they play that song live. Anyway, this song is fun as hell to play on Clone Hero. This game really makes you feel like you're playing the saxophone on a plastic guitar. But what I was saying is that even the Intervals songs that I wouldn't have said I like that much are so fun to play on this game that it's making me appreciate them more and listen to them a little bit differently. And I think that was something that happened on the original Guitar Hero and Rock Band games for a lot of people. In a lot of cases, it would be the first time where you really listened in on a guitar riff rather than just the vocals, and you'd be like, oh, I've never noticed that little melody right there. Or like, oh, that's cool how they mix that up for the second verse. The bridge is the best part of Ocean Avenue, not the chorus. I would say that's one of the lasting legacies of the Guitar Hero series, is how many people it inspired to pick up the guitar, learn how to play, to just appreciate music a little bit differently. So I salute you, Guitar Hero series, for inspiring a whole bunch of young people to learn how to play the guitar and start a band that goes on to make absolutely no money because the music industry is in shambles.
As I neared the end of my journey, it got to the point where I had just one guitar battle left. Granted, it was versus the devil himself, and turns out he's pretty good at guitar. But one battle left that I just had to make it to the end of, and the game would be over, and I could not do it. I spent hours playing this song, but no matter what I did, he would always defeat me.
Get a new trick, man.
I dropped my phone.
Now, I do kind of have an excuse for this. The attacks you deal in guitar battles are dispersed at random, and one of them does this thing where you can't play any notes until you hit the whammy bar a bunch. Not a big deal, right? Wrong. It is a big deal. Because even though during the rest of the game I have no issues using the whammy bar, for whatever reason in this moment the game does not register that I'm hitting it and I lose automatically. This battle brought me to my breaking point.
He got two! He got two!
So I regret to inform you that even after spending 4 long months trying to get as good at Guitar Hero as I possibly could, I'm giving up right before the end. Is what I would say if I was a quitter, so I marched back. No, I'm sorry to even get your hopes up. I wrote that into the script hoping it might motivate me to finish the job. It did not. But then I thought, what if I set the bar a little lower?
I'm gonna try to get a perfect score on this song, so at least that I can do something that is impressive to anybody out there at all. But I think I can get a perfect score on this song. This one's pretty simple. Look, the stars look different. I've never seen that before. Is that the easiest one in the game? Perhaps. But I did it on expert.
Yeah, so maybe I'm not the best at Guitar Hero, and never will be. But I'm pretty good at Guitar Hero, and that's a lot more than I could say a couple months ago. So no matter what all the haters and losers out there try to say about me, I don't care, because I'm proud of myself. Unfortunately, I did lock myself in my closet.
I decided as we near the end of this video that I should do something I've been avoiding for the past 10 years. I'm gonna learn a scale. I did it. The only other thing I wanted to do at this point to prove to myself that I've improved is write one last song about my journey. Something that I felt would musically represent the highs and lows that I experienced over the course of the Guitar Hero 3 solo campaign. The bittersweet feeling that came with getting so close to the end, but still being unable to defeat the devil because he cheated.
I'm having so much fun playing this game. Just one song left and I win. Wait, is that the devil? When did the devil learn guitar? Suck my ass, devil. Wait, hold on. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna beat the devil.
But I also knew that this video wouldn't be complete until I took everything I learned into the real world and played a show in front of a live audience. Only then will I know how far I've come.
I've been working on this song for a couple months now. I'm a little nervous to perform, but it's a song that means a lot to me, and you know, I hope you like it too. If you know it, sing along.
So last night I went to an open mic in Castleberry, Florida. I signed up, paced around nervously until it was my turn, and then I went up and played my heart out. I was so nervous beforehand about the performance and having to set up real quick. I knew I was going to have to put my laptop on top of an empty box on top of an end table because that's what I had practiced at home. Could I have taken 10 extra seconds to connect to the Bluetooth speakers that everyone else was using? Yeah. But you know, this way it was more intimate. You really had to be up close to enjoy it. I gotta be honest, I spent the past few weeks thinking about every possible outcome for this, and this was probably the best one. Everyone was so excited, they were clapping and singing along. I mean, it is a universally beloved song. I was a little worried they'd get mad at me because there were like actual musicians there performing real songs that they wrote, and then I just went up to do a bit for a YouTube video, but they were really nice about it. Huge shout out to Suva Kava Cafe. Everyone there is awesome. I really could not have asked for a more supportive environment in which to share my art. And I think I'll end by saying this. If I can stand in front of a room of 29 confused strangers and pretend to play Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts in its entirety, then you can do anything. Thanks for watching, guys.
Plays the main character as being that one girl from TikTok, or some of you may know her as being the sister of that one girl from TikTok, and I love her character. There's so much variety in the way she rolls her eyes. Sometimes she does it while she's talking, sometimes she does it while someone else is talking. You can tell the director really pushes these actors to their limits, finding so many unique situations in which for eyes to be rolled. Now, with all that in mind, we can go ahead and start watching the show, but remember, guys, this isn't your standard brat show about, high school or dance class. This is a serious medical drama that needs to be taken seriously, all right? Let's watch episode 1.
Today's premiere of How Do I General is brought to you by Just Dance 2020.
This is Nurse Sandy. She's the heart of the ER. make her laugh and bring her chocolates, and you're golden. But if you make her mad, you're gonna have a really rough road at this hospital.
I love this trope that happens so often in shows where a character describes someone else directly in front of them like they can't hear what they're saying. Oh, that's all shit for brains Kevin. Hello? If you're wondering why this hospital smells so bad, it's him. Try to stay on his good side. If he doesn't like you, you'll know it, because he will fucking stab you. All right? He will stab you. I'm not making that up.
Ambulance Bay needs hands. Patient Dr. Hembry and everyone on call. Metro bus crashed downtown. We're about to be at capacity.
So right away, you might be noticing how weird it is that this show not only exists, but was released when it was, like right in the middle of a global pandemic, which is not really their fault. You know, they filmed this way in advance, but you couldn't have more unlucky timing. I think it's just funny that like the last thing so many people want to be thinking about right now is the hospital. And Brad's like, what if we did a show where a bunch of teenagers pretended to work in one?
There's a new shipment of donated toys in the shed.
The shed?
I can see why they call this room the shed.
Yeah. Because it looks like a shed.
He's the most brilliant surgeon in the state.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the same accolades as a father.
Okay, so we learned that this girl wants to be here because clearly she wants to be a doctor, and that's why she's learning. This girl's only here because her dad already is a doctor, and she doesn't want to be here. But we don't know anything about these two yet, so let's find out.
Why did you volunteer to work at a hospital?
I got arrested. Beats juvie.
It's an awfully bold backstory to go with and then not expand on it at all.
What did you do to get arrested?
In prison, you're never supposed to ask about the crime.
Okay. I really like that hairnet, by the way. As long as the top of your head is covered, don't worry about the rest. Also, he's like about to put the glove on backwards. I understand that the point is, okay, these kids don't really know much about how hospitals work, but come on, you've never put a glove on before? Wait a minute, are all of these my thumbs or just this one? Meanwhile, this girl's already ignored her instructions and is just wandering around the hospital.
Excuse me? Hello? Hey, excuse me? Hello? Hey.
Sorry, but it's really busy right now. There's been a huge accident.
I know, I was in it.
Oh.
I like how during this scene, there's like 12 visible doctors walking by, some of them not even in a hurry. You're telling me all of them are too busy to do something about this bleeding child? They need another child who doesn't actually work here to pull out gauze out of wherever she was holding gauze and then put it on herself.
My favorite sweatshirt.
You guys notice anything about this sequence?
I'm Holden.
Kit.
The nurse who comes running in with this patient was just standing behind them 5 seconds ago. You see, Brett probably didn't care about all these little details because they thought only kids would watch this show. Joke's on them. I'm an adult.
You're new TV, aren't you?
Nicely done, Sherlock. Now, what are you doing? Do you always sneak up on people when they're sleeping?
Actually, I had a reason to be in here. Some of us have work.
Am I supposed to congratulate you?
If you want to.
What? Hi, nice to meet you for the first time. Oh, wait, hold on. I just gotta grab my fucking sock. I left it over there.
Next week, try to be a little more professional. These will help.
Wow, this is so cool.
Wait, hold on. Who said that?
Wow, this is so cool.
It wasn't her.
Wow, this is so cool.
It wasn't either of them. You can't just put that line in when no one's mouth is moving. Really, it's not just the writing and directing, it's the editing that's so weird at times. Like, what is this quick ass cut? It's so jarring to just throw that in for a second and then cut back like nothing ever happened. So episode 2 starts with the smart girl just sort of roaming about, as usual, and she runs into the bloody teen boy from before, this time with less blood.
I would have used absorbable sutures myself, but then they couldn't bill you twice.
The strangest teenager I've ever met. You're cute, but strange.
You're the dumbest little piece of shit I ever met. Cute, but fucking stupid. This episode's spicy right away. First we have that little interaction, and then Georgia, the main girl, runs into the teen doctor from before. This whole interaction is great. I'm just not even gonna interrupt it because it's so good on its own.
Dr. Henry's protege. What a nerd.
Nerd or stud?
Nerd.
Smart is the new sexy. I read that somewhere.
Oh, you read too? I'm impressed.
I read lots of things. Novels, magazines, instruction manuals.
Candy wrappers, street signs, funny t-shirts. How many times are they gonna do that? Just almost kiss in the closet.
Pudding? Juice?
Just juice. Just juice, please.
Whoa, calm down there, buddy.
You really don't know where the bandages are?
Oh, I do. I just needed an excuse to get you in here.
I think one of the reasons these shows are so funny to me is because rather than being like a 22-minute or 40-minute show like most, regular TV shows are, these are 9 minutes long. So it's like, this happens, and this happens, and this happens. A minute ago, she was like, I'm not gonna kiss him. And then the moment she sees him again, she's like, I gotta go kiss him now. And then they do. It's just like, what changed in between these two interactions?
Holden? What's going on? Get back. Okay, step down.
Like, and then she sees the kid again and just immediately starts crying. Because there's no way for there to be good pacing when the episodes are so short.
Excuse me, Nurse Sandy. Can you tell me what happened to Holden?
No updates, kid. Holden has a severe heart condition.
Wait, what? I know they mentioned that earlier, but just seeing it in action, being able to so effortlessly bribe a nurse to give you confidential information.
Thank you. Love jitterbugs.
You didn't have to say that.
Next time on Attaway General.
Look, I know what's going on between you and Will.
You do? How? You guys walk into the storage closet together every 15 seconds. It's pretty much the only thing you've done here so far. It doesn't even seem like you're trying to hide it.
Attaway General. No, that is not a disease.
So now we're on to episode 3, and I'm realizing the extent of research that the writers did to create the show is that they figured sometimes people faint because it happened again.
So, who's Holden?
None of your business.
He's a cute boy she has a crush on.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
Molly!
2 episodes in a row, it's like, okay, we need a startling introduction. Someone faint.
Georgia, you need to take your education more seriously. I gotta go.
Another great talk, Dad.
Ugh, what are you gonna do? Go save someone's life? In the hospital? Where you work?
Jack will be here to keep you company.
Thanks.
Let me know if you guys need anything.
So I'm supposed to offer you pudding or juice or whatever? Want some?
No.
Mind if I watch TV?
Knock yourself out.
Why does he have to sit in there, though? Is that why they're volunteering at this hospital? I thought they would be like shadowing nurses or seeing what surgery looks like up close. Instead, they're just babysitting kids their age.
Knock yourself out.
I would be annoyed too if I was at the hospital and some teenagers in my room with me dressed up like a doctor, like, yo, you mind if we watch some fucking TV, dude? Maybe the sports channel or Brat TV. It would be pretty meta if we did.
Wow.
Wait, did you guys see that? She went twice in a row. They have set themselves up for a continuity nightmare here. Because the board is visible in every shot, and they're just throwing all these takes together, and none of them line up at all. It's literally a different array of pieces every time they cut. At one point, you can see that the older girl already won the game. Maybe they're playing like Connect 7, I don't know.
The second last week of play in the National Football.
Are you okay?
I don't want to talk to anyone. Just need a moment to be upset, okay?
I get that.
Oh, having a hole in your heart's pretty relatable, huh?
No, but I know what it's like to pretend to be okay when you're really not.
Yeah, I bet you do. Strange kid that I met 30 seconds ago.
I was with the perfect answer, ready to go.
No,
Drop the act. What did you do to get to stay with Molly? Be Dr. Henry's pet?
I am not his pet. I am his former patient.
Patient?
Yeah, I have the same form of brain cancer as Molly. I'm Dr. Henry's poster child. That's why he asked me to stay.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
There's a lot you don't know.
What? This show's so weird. She's already got tears streaming down her face when she turns around. All the drama is so like forced and quick. It happens too fast. I don't understand. What's wrong? I have cancer. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Well, maybe you should have.
I have a heart defect. You can't tell that from looking at me. Well, maybe now you can. Thanks.
For what?
For making me laugh.
But you didn't. You didn't laugh.
Why don't you distract me? Tell me more about what a bad volunteer you are.
Okay. So, earlier today, I totally went off on Rosie and...
Mind telling me more about how you suck at your job? Sure thing. This morning I was 4 hours late because I was stealing a bunch of morphine from the supply room. And
That is not a disease.
so I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in episode 4. I was really looking forward to it. I even watched the premiere live. Episode 4. Episode 4. But other than a very confusing gum ad that plays at the beginning, not before the video, it's part of the video, it was a pretty boring episode. I wish I had more to show you guys, but unfortunately that's all the episodes that are out right now. Maybe if the rest of the season is insane enough and you guys are interested in seeing a part 2 to this video, I'll sit my ass right back down like a month from now when all the episodes are out and button this baby up. I've got to cut to a commercial break real quick, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, I will show you who is currently licking themselves on the futon behind me. So, don't go anywhere. Hi. Do you like to eat dinner? Me too. Sometimes I do it every day. But dinner can also be confusing. You're telling me I have to drive all the way to the store, figure out what ingredients to buy, and figure out how to cook them? I don't know how to do all that. I didn't finish college. You're probably thinking, gee, if my meals were pre-portioned in a bag in a box and delivered to my house every week, then maybe cooking wouldn't be so hard. And I gotta say, that's a hell of a coincidence because that's exactly what HelloFresh does. My wife and I have been getting 3 HelloFresh meals almost every week for the past couple of years, and we've been recommending it to everyone long before HelloFresh even started sponsoring my channel. The food is consistently tasty. It's way better than any other meal delivery service that we've tried in the past. And there's a few recipes in particular that we get really excited about every time we see them on the menu because they're just so gosh dang good. Personally, I recommend the vegetarian plan because that's where we've gotten a lot of our favorite meals, but really they have options for whatever palate you have. Whether you're looking for specifically low calorie meals or you just want something you can make quickly, or you're more focused on feeding a large family, they've got you covered. And it's been great because we've been able to try a lot of different types of meals, things that would be out of our comfort zone for us to try and figure out how to make on our own, but they make it so easy with the step-by-step recipe guides and all of the ingredients already packaged and ready to be made. I feel like we also save a lot of money on food waste because we're not constantly buying like a ton of onions and then only using half of one, or a big bag of potatoes that just sits in the fridge for 3 years. If you're interested in trying HelloFresh for yourself and you want to save $60 off your first 3 boxes, head to HelloFresh.com and use promo code 60. I'm a little stinker. You can also just copy and paste that from the description. I know it's kind of a mouthful, just like HelloFresh. Nice. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Happy dinner, everyone. It's her. Boy, does she love to steal the spotlight. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the world the past few weeks. There's been a really large movement that a lot of us have been a part of, and it's not always easy to know where I fit into things like that. I've been trying to use my other platforms like Twitter and Instagram to at least share resources, but I also want to put my money where my mouth is. So for every video I upload this month, I will be donating $5,000 to various charities and organizations fighting racial injustice. The first organization I've chosen is Color of Change. You can read more about them in the description. Let me know if there's any others you would want me to donate in the next couple weeks. But that's it for today's video. Thank you again for watching, guys, and be sure to tune in this time next week for another video where actually my cat does it and I just sit back there and lick my balls the whole time. So, all right, thanks. Hey guy, it's that time of year again, the beginning of a new one. And that means it's time for all of us to turn over a new leaf, to strive to be better versions of ourselves for anywhere from 10 to even 12 days. Like a lot of people, I'm starting the year off with the goal of trying to eat healthier and struggling to do it because my brother just gave me 100 pounds of candy for Christmas. I've learned that for me personally, the easiest way to eat relatively healthy on a consistent basis is to just meal prep the same few meals over and over again. I do a lot of chicken and rice that I douse in hot sauce. Sometimes I'll put that chicken in a burrito that I douse in hot sauce. I also do a lot of ground turkey pasta. And of course, my signature dish, one slice of bacon cooked too long, now it looked like a turd. And all of these are equally delicious, but I'll admit, sometimes I grow tired of
the same 4 meals, and I'd like to expand my repertoire. Lucky for me, there's a whole world of information available right from my mobile device, and over the years, I've bookmarked dozens of delicious-looking recipes. There's just one problem. I've never actually cooked any of them. I have a whole folder of saved recipes on Instagram that I add things to constantly. I don't think I've ever even opened it. Gun to my head, I couldn't tell you one thing that's in there. So my goal for this video is to not just pretend that hypothetically one day I might cook something that I see online if all of the ingredients fell right into my lap and someone preheated my oven for me. No, I'm cooking everything I see. I don't care if it looks good. I don't care if it looks disgusting. For the next week, every time I see a recipe online, I'm gonna stop whatever I'm doing, drive my ass to the store, and come back home and make it. I might even eat it too.
Let's make these crispy Parmesan broccoli sticks. Peel your stalk and slice into fry shape. Coat them in a mixture of olive oil, grated parm, garlic, and lots of spices. Dip the flat side into freshly grated Parmesan and bake for 15 minutes.
Okay, so technically I already saw this before I started making this video, but I still want to make it because I only found out recently that you can even eat that part of the broccoli. I've just been composting it every time. Now, is some of its nutritional value lost when I smother it in oil and cheese? Yeah, probably a little bit. But Parmesan literally has protein in it, and that means it's good for you. I've never peeled this part of a broccoli before. Hope I'm doing this right. All done. Olive oil, garlic. I don't know what spice that is exactly. I'm just gonna do like some paprika, which is way too much, and some more garlic. I'm using glove because I have sensitive skin. Where are all my sensitive skin heads at? Never mind. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Look at that.
Dip the flat side into freshly grated Parmesan.
I'll get what I can on there. I'm definitely about to run out. I've only done like 3 of them. All right. Probably could have used some more cheese, I'll say it.
What is it?
Broccoli.
Oh, it's broccoli.
Yes, broccoli stems with a bunch of crap on them. I need to make it again in the air fryer with more cheese and less spice. And I need to make sure I grate them properly because I think some of them have like a little bit of the outside, but I don't know where the outside stops and the middle begins. I don't know the inside of a broccoli very intimately.
I do. Okay, so I have an experiment. I have 2 starters going on here. This one is named Thunder, and this one is named Lightning. And then I fed it for the first time this morning because it doubled in size, and now, even since this morning, it's grown about this much. And then Lightning over here, this one hasn't grown yet. I just started this one this morning. So I'm excited to see how these turn out.
I'm 5 days into being back in a calorie deficit diet, and I have yet to have a pizza omelet. They're by far one of my favorite low-calorie meals.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna make upside-down egg pizza for breakfast. That wasn't on my 2025 bingo card.
Oh wait, it actually was.
Seminole Hard Rock Tampa is excited to bring you live craps, roulette, and sports betting.
This is a very precise recipe. He said 15 pepperonis, not one more, not one less. 14, 15, 16. Guess that'll just be our little secret.
Okay, mine aren't really flat like his. It's like they don't want to be cooked.
Oh yeah, this is looking like a pizza now. Shit. I feel like I need a 3rd egg in there. Wow, I'm really bad at this. I just went to Italy a few months ago, and let me tell you, this right here, this is pizza. I guess I have to judge its doneness based on how much it jiggles.
We got a little bit of a jiggle left, so we're gonna cover for a little bit longer.
I guess my worst fear is because I have to flip this eventually. What if it's like still really soggy and not done, and I go to flip it and it's just like raw egg all over my face and torso? I don't want that. Time for the flip. Nope. It's heavier than I thought it would be. Or what if I what if I just did that? Does it look as good as his did? No. But does it taste as good? How would I know? I haven't taken a bite yet.
Oh no. That's not the face I wanted to see.
This is the face I wanted to see. I mean, I didn't make this because I was like, oh, Amanda will love this. I made it because I had to. It has such a strong odor. I think it's pretty good, actually. It just tastes like an omelet. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Nothing really to say about this.
It tastes the way it looks.
If this just had another tortilla on top and more cheese on
its
top,
contents.
yeah, it just looks really ugly.
You don't like the way this looks?
I just don't like the way it looks.
It's definitely uncanny valley territory. It looks too much like a pizza, but not enough like a pizza. It almost looks like an AI-generated pizza. Like it has this weirdly cartoonish look to it. I like it.
If
If you don't have a lot of time in the mornings but looking for a delicious and easy high-protein snack, these breakfast Hot Pockets are only 300 calories with 32 grams of protein and perfect for meal prep.
But I don't want to make eggs again.
Feel the luck of the dice. Watch the roulette wheel spin and scream for your touchdown.
All right, so I already fucked up two things about this recipe. One, I was supposed to buy egg whites to mix with the eggs, and I bought egg stirs by mistake. That's not that big of a deal. That's just like a calorie difference. But where I really messed up was I was supposed to buy plain yogurt, and I bought vanilla yogurt. Sure, vanilla is relatively plain in the grand scheme of all flavors, but for this recipe, I don't think that's what he was going for. I think this is as good a time as any to point out that if there's any recipes that I make in this video and I don't like it, it's probably not the recipe's fault. It's probably mine.
No, this is awesome. This is exactly what I wanted to be doing right now. Is this right? Does this look right to you?
I think I stuck my hands in a little prematurely. I know this extra flour was probably overkill, but this got so sticky, I just felt like I had to intervene somehow. Not right now, please. Well, it looks like something. It looks better than it did 5 minutes ago.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, look at us. We're doing it, guys.
Well, I'm doing it. You haven't helped at all.
Just a nice, easy meal prep. This will make your mornings very simple.
There's no way I'm gonna fit this many eggs on these. They're so tiny. What did I do wrong? Besides, well, most of the steps so far. I love 20 pounds of eggs. I love to look at it. I love to smell it. This might be the best meal I've ever made.
Yeah. This looks pretty good.
If anyone is watching this video so far and is like, boy, I sure do hope Drew doesn't transition into cooking content because I don't want to watch any more of this, don't worry. I'll probably never step foot inside a kitchen ever again. Just wanted to try something new for the new year. New year, new me. That's what they say. But I can't wait to go back to the old me. The old me that never tried to do shit like this.
This looks so good.
I do think of myself as a decent chef. I think I'm pretty competent in the kitchen. But there are things that I'm good at making, and clearly there are things I'm bad at making. I don't want this to be an indictment on my overall cooking ability, okay? This has nothing to do with how good I am at roasting chicken or grilling wings. Wings are not really that hard to make, and I'm also really good at spaghetti, which is like notoriously pretty easy. Maybe I'm just good at like the baby shit. I'm just gonna put this on as is, and we're just gonna see what happens to that little fucked up one in the corner. Hey, that wasn't so bad.
Look at this delicious meal.
I think it's still undercooked. It's so funny, you like sear it on both sides for 5 minutes each. I did that and cooked it in the oven for like almost 40 minutes. I mean, it tastes like a Hot Pocket. Whether or not that's a good thing is up to you.
I mean, it's a little dense.
It's like a brick. Yeah, I think the dough was more my fault. I don't think I made it thin enough before I packed everything in. What would be better is to just use a tortilla and then just make like a little crunch wrap. And I feel like that would just be 100 times easier. And you could probably meal prep that too.
I like it better than yesterday.
Yeah, you didn't like that pizza.
This is a pizza.
What do you think pizza is?
This is pizza.
I hope you like that because I got 6 more of them.
This is my go-to dish I make when I don't feel like cooking.
Perfect. It'd be nice to have a little break after that fiasco I went through this morning.
It's called arrayas. It's basically a meat stuffed pita, and it takes less than 30 minutes to make.
Oh.
We're gonna use ground beef and add garlic, feta, parsley.
Sorry,
and then we're gonna open up our pita halves and start stuffing them. Sear them on both sides.
Actually starting to look a little bit like cooking.
It turns out so juicy, and now we just enjoy.
You know what I make when I don't feel like cooking? Bag of chips. Maybe just like a bowl of canned tuna. She said in the video, I promise you're not gonna undercook this.
And I promise the meat fully cooks.
I don't know about that. I think you would be shocked at my ability to undercook anything. Or I guess more accurately, to severely overcook anything out of fear of undercooking it. I'm such a hypochondriac that if I even make even a slightly pink burger, which is how I like it, by the way, I'll work myself up the next 2 days being like, does my stomach hurt because I contracted a foodborne illness? Or does my stomach hurt because I'm nervous about the possibility of having contracted a foodborne illness? Ugh, I can't wait to lick my fingers when I'm done. Does that look good to you? Wow, I touched that for 10 seconds and my hands are itchy. Where are all my eczema heads at? Please ignore the mess over here. I wasn't expecting company today. It looks so good on the outside, but I know it's still raw on the inside. Cooking is scary. What if I die? All right, moment of truth. This woman's trying to kill me. It would be so helpful to know how hot I was supposed to make it. It looks really good on the side. This one I I gave a little bit longer, and it is completely raw. She promised it would be fully cooked. Am I stupid? Ow. This one looks fine. That just looks like a burger. Let's make a little sauce here. God damn. Shit, that's really good. I've never thought to fry pita bread like this. It just tasted like an empanada, which is great. Empanadas are delicious. I've made empanadas before. The ones I made were like a lot of work. It would take me like 2 hours to do everything. I'm gonna say that this one that is still raw is my fault. I can't tell you how many times I've tried making burgers and I'll like confidently take it off thinking it's done, and then it fucking looks like this. No shade to her, I just don't think that she should have ever trusted me to cook something properly. I'm going to cook the meat and then stuff it in and then brown the sides. Now, is this one gonna taste as good? Probably not, but is it a little bit safer to eat? Yeah, because I burnt it. Yeah. Definitely dried that one out. There's a happy middle ground between putting it in completely raw and putting it in already cooked. Sorry, Bim Bim. I can't feed you this week. I haven't gotten any Instagram reels for cat food. Nah, I'm just kidding, brother. Honestly, so far, this challenge isn't as bad as I feared it might be. I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. I'm learning new things. I'm actually pretty excited to see what's next. What the fuck?
Dozens of questions sprang to mind as my eyes tried to make sense of what they were seeing. Questions like, what? And why? But for the sake of this video, the only one I really needed to answer was how. So I enlisted the help of my friend Internet Shaquille, who you may know from his cooking YouTube channel or from the only Vine of his I could find on this website. Dunkin' Crumpers? He responded almost instantly with an answer that would have taken me weeks to figure out on my own. It's cheese. Really wet cheese with pistachios in it for some reason. He even found a website to buy this exact concoction from, but that, of course, would be cheating. I needed to make this on my own. Without access to pre-made mozzarella curd, I would need to order citric acid and animal rennet, two things I definitely knew existed before this week.
What the hell am I doing, man?
But first, a short commercial break. Hey guy, I know you probably want to, but you don't actually need to tell me that I have two distinctly different hair colors fighting to the death on top of my head. I am aware of that. I am also aware of the fact that they are both losing. So a little over a year ago, I got an ad for something called The Cove, an almost $500 sleep headset that was touted to me as a hug for your mind. Not that there's literally any other information in this ad. It's just kind of floating there, and I guess you're supposed to be like, well, it emits vibrations, so it's got to do something, right? As expected, the website focused more on buzzwords than anything else. Enjoy life more by stressing less. Cove makes peace of mind effortless. Cove plus TV equals evening serenity. I feel like it's such a cop-out to be like, this thing will make your brain calmer. Just, you know, make sure to wear it while doing something you enjoy. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Like, I wonder what's making me happier right now. Is it the show that I like? Or the piece of plastic I put on my head? The most notable scientific citation they have is something called interoception, the sixth sense that we've conveniently never heard of. Because how can I say that they're wrong if I don't even know what that is? Anyway, at a price point of $490, I didn't end up buying it at the time because it was so expensive and supposedly life-changing. I figured I would save it for its own video one day. But before long, I noticed that the Amazon link I had bookmarked changed it to say currently unavailable. So I thought maybe they're coming out with a newer version. I guess I'll just wait and see. Cut to about a month ago, I checked their website again and the Cove has been discontinued. No! Where am I gonna get my interoception from now? Here is their explanation. In an effort to scale Cove's proprietary technology to reach as many people as possible, we have made the strategic decision to discontinue the Cove product line as it exists today and will no longer be selling directly to consumers. Huh? In an effort to get the Cove to as many people as possible, we will no longer be making or selling them. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so maybe they explained it more somewhere else. No posts in over 10 weeks, and you can't comment on their Instagram, and you can't comment on their Facebook, and you can't reply to any of their tweets. Now, I can't say for certain that they're trying to hide something, but I can say that if you were trying to hide something, this is how you would do it. I tried to look more into it, and all I could find is just like article after article over the past couple of years of people either saying, it kinda helped me, I think, or that it was a huge waste of money. And then all of a sudden, it's just gone? So I don't know what happened for sure. The wording of their statement almost makes it sound like they sold their technology to another company. Maybe because they didn't actually believe in it that much in the first place, so as soon as I got an offer to cash out and disappear, they jumped on the opportunity. But either way, this abrupt departure and nebulous goodbye message is not really a great look for them after spending 2 years promising to change people's lives. Well, it seems we've killed the man, but not the idea. There are now seemingly dozens of copycat headsets and watches and vibrating eggs you put on your chest. A whole slew of little devices that each cost hundreds of dollars, all with the same promise of fixing your broken brain, usually backed up by vague in-house research. I mean, we think it works pretty good. And can you guess what all of these things have in common? That's right, I've gotten ads for every single one of them on Instagram. If I had to guess why, it's because about a month ago, I had the worst panic attack of my life, which honestly is saying something because in the past I've talked about having to go to the ER from panic attacks. But this one was terrifying. For a little over 2 hours, I thought I was going to throw up, pass out, suffocate, die, any or all of those things. And as panic attacks do, it eventually went away and I'm doing a lot better now. I mean, the next day I was feeling great. It was just, that's how anxiety is. It comes up out of nowhere sometimes and it feels like debilitating, like there's nothing you can do to stop it or that it will never go away. So even though I'm in a much better mental state now, words still got out that, you know, sometimes my brain forgets we're supposed to be on the same team, and Instagram has been having a field day with this. Mind Bloom, Brain Luxury Inc., Call Me Go, Mendy, Leaf, Apollo Neuro, Sensate, The Neo Rhythm by OmniPimp, a sleep insert that's implanted into your body? You think I'm gonna buy a surgery from Instagram? Right away with these ads, there was a pretty big red flag for me when this guy popped up. If you've watched some of my other videos, you may recognize him from a very different Instagram ad for the work oney.
There's even a flap on the back, just in case.
So it's like, okay, maybe this is not a connoisseur of internet gadgets. This is a paid actor. And that doesn't mean that this product can't work, but it does sort of break the illusion that this is just a candid testimonial.
Working several jobs, I tend to have high stress and anxiety buildup. I decided to try this product right here to help with that. This product is clinically proven to decrease stress and anxiety in 8 weeks or less.
8 weeks is a long time to have something taped to my chest, not even knowing if it's gonna work or not. Also, a lot can change in the span of 8 weeks. Like, there's so many factors that go into mental health that it's almost hard to like even point to this as the sole reason why your stress or anxiety would go down.
The Leaf is a wearable device that utilizes vibration feedback to assist in regulated breathing and increase your heart rate variability.
But all right, product number 1 uses vibration feedback. Product number 2 is the Mendy.
I had been using it probably about 3 times a week for a couple of months and then went to a conference with my husband. I was sitting there listening and thought, okay, pay attention and focus. And as I did that, I realized I was focusing.
All right, that's very anecdotal.
The Mendy is working.
At least the other one, they said vibration feedback. This one, she's just like, I put it on my head 3 times and then I was able to listen better at a conference. The headset is used to measure your brain activity. It automatically connects to Mendy's app. Okay, but what does it do? Follow your progress and get lifestyle recommendations that help you boost your training and brain health further. Okay, but what does it do? Controlling mood, increasing focus, improving sleep. But how? How does it do those things? The training game shows what's happening in your brain. Simply focus to make the ball rise. Okay, so it doesn't like do anything to my brain, but it can measure my brain's activity. I can sort of train myself to focus by rewarding my brain when it does a good job, I guess. Up next, we have another headset. It's called the NeoRhythm.
I swear by my NeoRhythm.
Notice big differences. I'm able to fall asleep faster.
Okay, so it helps you sleep.
Able to get a lot more work done.
Okay, so it helps you stay awake.
This little miracle of a device has kept me up for the past 8 hours.
Okay, so it keeps you from sleeping.
I was really skeptical, like, it looks like a Halloween costume, let's be real. But I have to say, I think it's actually working.
All right, well, I mean, if she thinks it's working, then I gotta spend $300 on it. NeoRhythm is a pulsed electromagnetic field therapy device that emits corresponding dominant and accompanying frequencies to which the brain synchronizes, creating a perfect mental environment for the desired state of mind. The fuck? I guess I'm just skeptical on how the same device could help you do two opposite tasks. How does it know whether I'm trying to sleep or stay awake? Well, let's see the reviews. I like the idea, I just have not felt any benefits or difference from using the device. Seems to be a scam. The product does not have an efficacy beyond that of a placebo. It's hard to know if you're improving as there is no feedback. My experience so far has been no different than if I'd purchased a really expensive piece of plastic with an LED light on it. I've tried almost daily for several months as a sleep aid, but can't say I've noticed any difference. Damn. But still, way more people seem to swear by it than the amount of people that think it sucks. Maybe they're just doing it wrong. Maybe they're just stupid. So those are things you put on your head. You've also got the Apollo that you put on your wrist.
Why I can't go a day without this wearable. It improved the quality of my sleep. I've never slept better than when I started using the Apollo wearable.
Okay, so it helps you sleep.
It helps me focus when I'm working. My productivity has almost doubled since buying the Apollo wearable.
Okay, so it helps keep you awake.
It's kind of like a wearable hug for your nervous system.
I mean, that sounds good, but like, what does that mean? Like, I don't want to hear a metaphor of what it's like. I just want to know what it does. So this one is the one I've heard the most about. I've heard it mentioned on podcasts before. It's also the most expensive out of all these products, although they're all about the same price. So we'll see. Product number 5, we've got the Sensate, which is described as a pebble that emits infrasonic vibrations to tone the vagus nerve and improve overall well-being. From what I can tell, you put it on your chest while meditating, and then it like makes you calmer over time. Now, if this is a product you have to use while meditating, it's hard to really know if it's actually doing anything, right? Because meditation in itself is something you can do to calm yourself down. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. So if you meditate with this egg on your chest and then you feel better, was it the egg or was it the meditation? Who's to say, you know? Guess there's no way to prove it. And then the last product is called the Calmigo. It's pretty different from all the others, but kind of has the same goal.
Everything's better now. So how do you look so calm? I use Calmigo. It's a little device that helps calm you down when you're anxious.
Okay, so it's like an inhaler that you breathe into and you're having a panic attack, and I guess it smells good. The thing is, though, like my first impression of this is that out of all of these products, this would be the most helpful because it doesn't rely on doing some invisible thing like emitting magnetic rays into your brain. I can't see that, so I don't know if it's actually doing that. Whenever I'm anxious, the first thing I'll try to do is like pay attention to my breathing. I'll breathe in slowly and breathe out. And if that's what this thing is helping you do, then like, even though it's overpriced and you can breathe for free, at least it's like doing a physical thing to help you. So you probably notice I'm a little skeptical of almost all of these products. I want to believe that the science is all true and it's all legitimate. I want to believe that these companies truly just set out to help people on their journey. But let's be real about it. As more and more people talk about mental health struggles, there are other people who look at that as a new market to target. It is an ever-growing demographic of people who are probably seen as easily exploitable. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to just be like, oh boy, all this stuff is gonna fix my brain. Because you wanna know how much money I spent on 6 devices? $1,462.96. $1,462.
Hi, welcome to the unboxing couch. This is where I will take things out of a box and put them on my head.
Now, any mathematicians watching may have noticed that I bought 6 products and yet I only have 4 boxes. What's up with that? Looks like DHL had an issue delivering the Neorhythm and it's currently stuck in Slovenia. And the Sensate egg ball is on back order. You'd think maybe they could have told me that before I paid for it, but then, you know, I might not have bought it and then they wouldn't get any money. So why would we tell you that? Usually I would try to be a little bit more understanding about this. I know that there's supply chain issues. I know that things get delayed all the time. But I do feel like if you're gonna market yourself as like the we made this product because we care about people company, then, you know, maybe you should have slightly higher standards. At the very least, once you're aware of the fact that you don't have any of a product left, maybe stop taking orders. Even though I have no idea when my Sensate will show up, I can still go on the website and buy another one. Why is that? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't really seem like you care that much about people's mental health when you're willing to just hoard their money for an indefinite amount of time. So I don't think I'm gonna get this one in time to include it in the video, which is unfortunate because I think it might help alleviate some of the stress that it is causing me. But honestly, I don't know if I had super high hopes anyway for a product whose worst reviews are all like, it's broken, it broke, and the best reviews are like, it was great until it broke. Hey, it can't stop working if you never get it in the first place. Mindy was one that you put on your head, right? I'll start with that.
What is the point of this?
It's in a box, wrapped in bubble wrap, inside another box. And then for extra protection, they put in 1 sheet of paper. This is how it arrived in one piece. Oh, it's beautiful. Finally, I can pay attention at the conference. Welcome to Mindy. Inside this box, you have one of the very first Mindy devices to ever see the light of day.
Guess they haven't sold that many.
Important product and legal information. This product is illegal to use. Good to know.
Now here's the goods right here.
I don't think I'm supposed to put it on my head yet, but obviously I'm gonna put it on my head. So this one has no information on it. I just have to download an app. Ooh, the app has a 3.6, not great. And from all I know about this, like the whole thing is the app. So if the app sucks, then the product is useless. So that's not a great sign.
Mindy doesn't have enough variety. It is currently only the ball game and 1 music piece. For something you are encouraged to do at least 3 times a week, 5 minutes a session, I wish there was more. For the price, I feel like this hurts the experience and desire to use it. That's a good point.
Welcome to Mindy. Let your brain health journey begin. Great news. There's an update available. Is that great news? It's a headset right above your eyebrows. Tighten as much as possible. Fuck. It's already pretty tight. It's not super comfortable, but I'm here for results, all right, not comfort. No pain, no gain, even with your brain. Avoid bright light.
Oh, not sure that's really an option.
All right, the movement of the ball represents your brain activity. Ball rises a few seconds after you increase your brain activity. Win stars by sustaining your brain activity.
I want to win some stars.
Do they work on the Jeremy Renner app? I don't know how to make myself focus more. Whoa, I did it.
Oh, I suck now.
Don't get me wrong, I love that I'm getting stars, but I don't know what I'm doing to earn them.
I'm just gonna shut up and focus.
It worked.
Oh no, oh no. I'm plummeting right now.
58? I failed? I guess the thing is, like, I don't know how to be good at it. Like, I understand that if it goes up, I'm doing well, and if it goes down, I'm sucking ass, but I don't know what I'm doing to cause either of those things. The only thing I do know is that it's on so tight I can feel my pulse in my forehead, and I don't love that. Okay, at least though, it gave me a metric, it gave me a starting point. I can do this every day for a couple weeks and see if I get better at it. Set a weekly goal. 7 days. I'm doing it every day this week. Add the weekly goal to my home screen? Aw, no.
So you're supposed to do this like every day when you first wake up and then go straight to work and have like a giant like bruise on your forehead.
So I've got something for my head. Now I need something for my wrist. I gotta stop trying to figure out how stuff works before just reading the instructions. We recommend having the Apollo wearable gently vibrating on your body for at least 3 hours a day.
I have 2 watches?
I don't look like such a dork.
I look like I'm under house arrest.
No, officer, it's not like that. I just have anxiety. Apollo's modes deliver a novel touch therapy that signals safety to your brain through your sense of touch, restoring balance to the nervous system and helping you bounce back faster. Does this have an app too? 3.5? That's even worse. You know the worst thing about making these videos is, every time I sign up for something, every time I buy something, I start getting spam emails from them. I'm gonna get so many emails. I don't want any emails. Ever.
Okay, I can feel it vibrating when I touch it, but I don't feel it vibrating on my wrist.
I guess I kind of feel it. It's like really light. Adjust intensity until vibrations are noticeable but not distracting. It's a little distracting, I'll say. Do I want energy and wake up, social and open, clear and focused? Let's do clear and focused, all right? So it's just gonna vibrate on my wrist, but like really gently.
Hi, me from the future. All my hair fell off. Don't ask any questions. So I wanted to look a little bit more into some of the research that these companies are citing. Like for the Apollo, they've got a pretty small study here, only 38 participants, but they're touting a 25% increase in focus. Interesting. I didn't think that's something you could measure with a number, but you know what they say.
Science is whatever we want it to be.
All right, let's check out the abstract. And it is behind a paywall. It's gonna cost me $31 to actually see the study that they are bragging about. Awesome. Here's some more preliminary studies. These seem to be promising results. Now let's go to the study itself, where you can see that the results have not been published. So where are they getting these numbers from, huh? It's not over yet. Now, to be fair, these numbers are positive, I'll give them that. At the very least, it doesn't seem to be making things worse for people. But wait a minute, what the hell is an Aura Ring? Another $400 device? Do I have to have both in order for this thing to work? I'm running out of money. Speaking of which, how the fuck does this wristband cost $400? All it does is kind of vibrate. And I guess it has Bluetooth in it too, so it can connect to your phone. You know what else has Bluetooth and the ability to vibrate? A $35 Xbox controller. There's no way it costs even $100 to make one of these things. It's not like it's an all-in-one device either. It doesn't track any of the data that it is supposed to be having an effect on. You need to buy another device to go with it in order to be able to tell if it is working. Now, I'm not saying these companies shouldn't be able to profit. There's a lot of work that goes into production and marketing and coordinating these studies that get hidden behind a paywall. But at a certain point, it's like, what are we doing here? Do you even want this thing to be accessible to the people you're trying to help? I don't want to just dismiss this device altogether, because I know that there are promising studies about it. There are a lot of positive testimonials from people. I just think this company could find a way to still be very profitable without pricing it like it's some miracle device filled with state-of-the-art technology. It's a piece of plastic with a Velcro strap on it.
All right, well, I got to do this for 30 minutes, so let's keep opening boxes. Call me go. What does a 3 minutes at the top mean? It only takes 3 minutes to do what? To use it? It only takes 3 minutes to set it up? I'm so excited for how calm I'm gonna be. I got my wrist shaking up a storm. I got this inhaler that smells like lavender. And it only takes 3 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah. It came with a little screwdriver.
And free batteries. I didn't know it was my lucky day. There's a phone number for a free one-on-one training session. All right.
Not a great sign.
Can't be that hard. I'll figure it out myself.
Oh, I'm high as shit.
I don't know what I'm doing. When I blow into it, I can feel a little ball inside, and it goes up to the top, and then the light turns blue, and then when I stop breathing, the light turns off, indicating that I'm not breathing, and the ball falls back down because I'm not blowing into it anymore. But what does it actually do? Well, guess that's going off for now. Last but most certainly not least, Leaf Therapeutic with a hole in the back, just in case. Aw, how nice of them. They already gave me a return envelope. They know I'm gonna return it. This was the cheapest product technically, because I think it was only like $99, but that's $99 a month. If I really loved this product and I really felt like it was helping me and I wanted to use it for an entire year, That's $1,200.
But we just want to help people. We want to make it easier for people to give us money so we can buy stuff.
Oh no. Oh no, there's a lot of 1-star reviews from years ago. Wow, these are from 3 years ago. Super disappointed in this company. There are no instructions and the data is so hard to see and or understand. When I try to get help, the company tried to sell me coaching. I needed customer service to explain the product. Super disappointed in this company. I think I'm gonna hold off on this until tomorrow actually, because I've got to be somewhere in 20 minutes and I don't want to have, you know, wires dangling from my chest. But thanks to my new upside down watch, I'm gonna be really calm and focused when I get there because my wrist is gently shaking. That's how brains work.
Oh, my forehead's so cold.
Good thing my other headset just arrived. Oh God, there's so many things. Charge, download the app, sign up, log in, tap once, activate Bluetooth, first use, select and tap, 2 taps to change, 2 taps to repeat. And it's as easy as that. Oh, this is great. I guess I gotta charge it first then. While that's charging, I'm gonna do my Mindy for the day. It's really important that I begin every clip in this video with a giant red mark on my forehead. I think this time I am gonna watch the video. I was too cocky.
Optimize your experience by wearing headphones that cancel out any outside noise. When you start your training, concentrate on the pressure of the Mendy headband on your forehead. Focus on this sensation and hone in on the movement of the ball. Focus your gaze on the movement of the ball, but don't place too much emphasis on its upward movement.
Okay, but here's what I don't understand. I've used this a couple times. If I just focus on the ball, I'm not in a flow state. I'm waiting for the ball to do something, but then I'm the one in control of the ball, but I don't know how to control the ball. That makes me reactive. You know, how is that any different than me just like scrolling through Twitter, like waiting to be stimulated by something? If I'm waiting to be stimulated by the ball, I'm not doing anything, you know?
Making Mendy a habit and including it into your wellness routine will have a positive impact on your progress.
Like you said, I'm gonna put noise canceling headphones on so I'm not distracted. And this should be my best one yet because I'm following all the rules. Hi, me again. Now, I developed a suspicion early on that no matter what I did, the Mindy app was going to tell me that I kept doing better every single day because obviously it wants me to think that it is working. So after a couple days, I decided to see what would happen if I intentionally sabotaged my training. On day 4, I just laid down until I dozed off, and boy was I focused. I mean, look at all those stars. I'm killing it right now. On day 5, I spent the entire session just watching a YouTube video. On day 6, I played RimWorld the whole time. On day 7, I didn't even look at my phone once. I just spent my whole session eating a wrap that I made purposely too big. My best score so far. On day 8, I rode my exercise bike while playing a guitar solo to the Mindy song. And even though I forgot to plug in my actual microphone for this shot, I still knocked that ball game out of the park. I think I cracked the code. Just as I suspected, my score went up incrementally every single day. 58 to 64 to 68 to 71 to 79 to 86. Despite the fact that I wasn't even trying to do any of what the app told me to do, my brain was getting better and better every day the more I used the Mindy. And sure, there's a chance that maybe I really was just more focused every time. Shit, maybe all these products in conjunction with each other are working as intended and my brain has doubled in size. But it's hard not to think that maybe the app is just doing exactly what it's designed to, which is to make you think that you're getting smarter every day and that this was a good investment. Call me a cynic, but I'm not buying it. And if you still don't believe me, on day 9, I strapped the Mindy to a container of oatmeal, and you know what happened? Nothing. Actually, it knew that I was trying to deceive it. So I do have to give this thing a little bit of credit for at least being able to tell the difference between a human head and Publix old-fashioned dry oats. It's doing something in there. I'm just not exactly sure what. All right, so this is probably charged enough to get one thing out of it. Gotta download the app. This is too many things for one video. I should have just bought like 3 of them. Oh, yikes. 2.6. Double tap the device. Okay, I heard a buzz. Oh, it's just running now? That's it? It just started? Where do I put it? Oh no, it doesn't fit. It's supposed to sit right here. And instead, it sits right here. And it smells bad. I'm sorry, but it stinks. I think I'm supposed to wear it like this, actually. I can hear it. It sounds like crickets almost. It's like tick, tick, tick,
This has really bad branding because it's like, okay, I set it up, but like, what do I do now? It's not giving me suggestions of like what mode to do or when to do it or how often to do it. I'm supposed to just know all this stuff, I guess. I want to enhance mental capacity. I'm trying to get that limitless brain. We're gonna do it for 30 minutes. I'm going to continue the video while my brain just gets bigger and bigger. You guys let me know if I start getting really smart in the next 30 minutes, we'll know why. All right, let me figure out how to get this fucking leaf thing going. Put on torso, find the edge of your ribs. This blurry ass photo is all I have to go off of? Oh, I'm stuck. I'm just gonna say it goes right there and it's cold. Why do you need my location? So this is like completely dead? Never mind, I can't get it to work until it charges. So. Should have opened that box earlier. You know, I guess in the future, maybe instead of unboxing everything on camera, I'll unbox it beforehand so I can charge it first. Hey, wait, that's a pretty good idea. Did I only think of that because I got this fucking thing on my head? I really am smarter now. Just gotta grab these. This one and leaf on top of that, and this guy, and then that's the wrong plug. There, don't forget one. And now I can relax. All right, let's talk about the leaf. I'm not gonna wait 8 weeks to see if this starts making a difference. I'm gonna return it now. I think it's awfully convenient a company that charges you a monthly fee wants you to be extremely patient with their product. Please pay us at least 3 times before sending it back. And it's not because I think this is a piece of junk. Honestly, it does exactly what it's advertised to do. It tracks your HRV, your heart rate variability, a metric that I had never heard of until it told me about it. And it guides you through these like timed breathing sessions in order to increase the number, because the higher the better, I guess. At least if you Google HRV, it'll tell you it's a big predictor for future health. If the number's high, you'll live forever. If it's low, you might as well dig your own grave now. But upon further research, it seems like there is some debate about what the number actually means. Some people believe everyone just kind of has their own baseline level, and the value in tracking it is simply that when the number starts to trend downward, that can be a sign of a lot of added stress in your life, or even that you might be a couple days away from getting sick before showing symptoms, which is actually really interesting. But anyway, while I'm not 100% sure what to do with the number it gives me, I do know that having an app that I can open up at any time that'll show me how close I am to allegedly dying is probably the worst thing for my mental health. It's kind of like when I first bought an Apple Watch a few years ago and I started obsessing over my heart rate, because up until that point I had never had a device that could track it for me. So then I spent the next few months worrying about how high it was and what that might mean for my health, until one day I decided to just stop looking at it, and then can you guess what happened? It went down. I was causing the problem that I was stressing about by stressing about it. So I'm not gonna make the same mistake again with this thing, although it would be unfair for me to judge them because of that. That's my own issue. So let's say hypothetically I were to keep using this, what would that experience look like? Well, for starters, I would have to tape this device to my chest every day. I have to feel this cold, sticky tape on my torso, what, for the rest of my life? And then when I run out of tape, I'm gonna have to buy more? I'm not gonna do all that. Also, there is a massive flaw with this device, which is that it is touch activated. By tapping it, you can initiate an automated breathing session where it vibrates super hard on your chest for like 3 minutes. I wore this thing for a day and a half. I must have accidentally activated that thing like 25 times, 10 or so of which were while I was asleep. And it kept waking me up. And maybe you're thinking, Drew, surely that is a setting that can be turned off. No, it's not. If I want to use this thing to track my HRV and my sleep, I just have to deal with the fact that it's gonna wake me up a bunch. The funniest thing about this to me is that I used another app to track my sleep quality. So this right here is me just going to bed normally, no devices, just raw dogging sleep. And this is the one and only night that I wore the leaf. Not only did my sleep score go way down, probably because I kept getting interrupted, but my heart rate variability got cut in half. That is the one thing this device is supposed to improve. So I'm thinking, like, what's the end game here? I keep using this device for weeks and hope that that number keeps improving until it gets back to where it was before I started. And then when that finally happens, I decide, gee, I guess I can't live without this device. I guess I'll keep paying them $99 a month forever, because as far as I can tell, there's no way to opt out of the coaching they automatically signed me up for when I bought it. Which also, like, what do I need coaching for anyway? The app tells me how to do it. She didn't even get my name right.
Hey, Andrew.
If HRV is important to you and it's something you'd like to be able to track, then I would recommend getting one of the many devices out there that will track it for you and that you don't have to tape to your chest. And even though all of these devices are more expensive than $99, after a couple months, it will be the same price. And then every month after that, it will be another $99 cheaper, and so on and so forth forever. Who thought of this business model? And why are they not in jail? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go put that in a prepaid envelope. All right, this is gonna be the most positive segment of the whole video. I think the Call Me Go is a pretty okay product. I will not say it's worth $200, but that still makes it the cheapest out of all the products in this video when you consider the fact that you don't have to subscribe to it. I finally figured out how to use it, even though they never answered my phone call. Basically, you just breathe into it until it vibrates, and that means you've exhaled long enough, so then you breathe in, exhale again, so on and so forth for a couple of minutes. Thankfully, I haven't had a panic attack since I got this thing, but the next time I do, I will definitely try to use it and see if it helps at all. While the rest of these products have the promise of this sort of silent long-term effect that you're supposed to just trust is happening and hope that in like 2 months that maybe you might feel some slight difference, they don't do anything to help you if you have a sudden onset of anxiety. This is something that at least has the potential to give you some immediate relief. Again, there are plenty of free ways to accomplish the same exact thing. There are YouTube videos with breathing exercises. You could even just like time how long this tells you to breathe in and out, and then next time count out loud yourself. So I'm not gonna say $198 is some great value for this, but does it do what it's supposed to do? Yes. I can see the practicality in owning one of these. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that, because I have nothing else nice to say for the rest of the video. Boom, you meowed at the door to come in, and I let you in and I closed the door, and now you want to get out? Too bad, you're trapped. My favorite thing about the Apollo is how cumbersome it is to wear on your wrist, because it has to go on the bottom, so it gets in the way of everything. Luckily, the solution is to wear it, that's right, on your ankle. So now every time I walk outside my house, my neighbors do a double take and then sprint in the opposite direction. I didn't commit a crime, Beatrice. I just have trouble focusing. So I've been sleeping with the Apollo and the Neo Rhythm. I've done different combinations. Some nights I'll only wear one. Some nights I haven't worn either of them. Actually, the very first night I had this on my head, which I thought was super uncomfortable. And then I found out you're supposed to put it under the pillow. So that's probably the dumbest I've ever felt. Though it's not like they said that in the app. I had to find that out from a random YouTube video. And if I hadn't found that, I would have just kept putting it on my head every night. But then hold on, and I know this may be a stupid question, but can the electromagnetic pulses even make it that far? Like, I still don't really know how this thing works, but how far do they actually go? Not to brag or anything, but my pillow's pretty thick. Can the pulses go all the way through it? They give you this little magnetic tester that beeps when it's on, which I think it's funny that they feel like they probably have to prove that this thing actually does something, and that's why they give it to us, but that's besides the point. But how it works is that you can only hear it beeping if it's right up next to it. Even if I'm like an inch away, it stops beeping. So you're telling me it has to go all the way through my pillow and pillowcase and skull just to make it into my brain? Shit, what's to stop it from going over to my neighbor's house and getting into their heads? Guess the whole neighborhood's sleeping good tonight. Anyway, for me at least, it seems like it has no effect. As you can see, I am physically incapable of having medium quality sleep. I either sleep amazing or terrible. Just for the sake of being thorough, I'm gonna keep experimenting with these things for the next couple of months, and I'll let you know in a future video if anything drastic changes, but for the time being, I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of these wearables. There are people who say that they felt relief within seconds of putting this thing on their neck, and like the third time I put it on, I got a headache. I'm not trying to spend $300 on a headache. I don't want that shit for free. Out of curiosity, I looked up a few reviews of the product on YouTube, and it kind of seemed like all of them had affiliate links in the description, which sort of means that they're incentivized to say positive things about the product. Even still, I thought it was funny how many of the reviewers would say things like, this technology is groundbreaking. It's so cool. It didn't do anything for me, even though I wore it for 3 weeks, but maybe if you buy it, you'll have different results. Now, the thing about mental health is is. You can't see it. To everyone else around you, it's invisible. That's why even though it has been heavily destigmatized, no matter what, there will always be people who look at you and say, you're not depressed, you're just lazy. Or like, anxiety's not real because I don't have it, and I'm the main character. But because brain health is invisible, it's impossible for me to prove that these products don't do anything. Like I said, there's people online who say they bought one and it changed their life. I would love it if these things worked perfectly for everyone all the time and it made all our lives better. That would be amazing. I would love it if I could put a piece of plastic on my head and never have anxiety again. But I worry that because it's so clear how hit or miss these devices are, that maybe there might be some placebo effect going on. And look, if it works, it works. That's great for those people. Right, because if it is a placebo effect, that means for everyone who bought it and didn't get anything out of it, all it's done is made their lives worse because they still have anxiety, but now with $400 fewer dollars. What I will say is that I think there is legitimacy in just having something to focus on when working towards a goal. A lot of the time with mental health, it kind of feels like the only thing you can do is just wait for it to get better, or you end up in a depression loop where you don't have the motivation to do any of the things that may make you feel less depressed. That was a story of my life for like 2 years. So there probably is something beneficial just in scheduling a task every day. Maybe part of it is the task itself, and part of it is the sense that you're actively working towards something. Like, these things don't do anything unless you tell them to. So when you sit down to work and you're like, I need to be more focused, I could try putting this thing on my wrist and activating focused and energized mode, and then, maybe I'll get more work done. And maybe on the other end of the spectrum, because I went into this so resistant and so skeptical, it's kind of my own fault that this didn't work for me because I wasn't allowing my brain to take on any change. It's sort of the whole I can't help you if you're not willing to help yourself thing. Although that's me really trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, to recap my experience, I think the Mindy would be a bad investment for most people. I think the Leaf would be a bad investment for anyone. I think the NeoRhythm is a little too risky to try out yourself because it seems like a lot of people have no sensitivity to these kind of devices, and even if you want to return it for a refund, you have to spend upwards of $60 to ship it all the way back to Slovenia. I think the CalmiGo has a very niche use, but a use nonetheless, and the Apollo is probably the most overpriced product I've reviewed on this channel since the MoonPod. I doubt even the biggest believers in this wristband can honestly say that they think this is worth what it costs. It feels so light and cheap in your hand. Just yesterday, I got an ad for almost the same exact type of product. And I don't know anything about this one, but they were charging $90 for 2 of them. And they're also just little watches that vibrate. Sure, maybe this one knocks it out of the park. Maybe it's way better, but is it $350 better? I doubt it. So as a company focused on people's well-being, if you can afford to charge substantially less for a product and still profit from it, why aren't you doing that? It seems like you've arbitrarily tacked on this mental health tax because you know that your target audience might just be desperate enough to spend all that money anyway. And so no matter how effective these things prove to be, I cannot comfortably get behind them. To me, this whole business model seems extremely exploitative. That being said, I'm curious to hear if you guys have bought anything like these and if you've had similar or hopefully better experiences. It's always hard to tell exactly what the consensus for something is, when from past experience, I know that some of these websites heavily moderate their reviews. And also half of these products don't even show reviews. They just show a handful of testimonials at the bottom and call it a day. Wow, this product is approved by 3 out of 3 people? I guess it's perfect then. Well, it's that time, folks. Time for me to earn back the money I wasted on this video by telling you about today's sponsor, Health.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I wanted to do a quick introduction here to sort of preface why I made this video, kind of share my thoughts behind it and some of the opinions I've had about YouTube content lately. I watch YouTube every single day. I think some of the best content on the internet comes from this website. I think there are so many creative and hilarious people making great stuff. That being said, there's also a lot of shitty content on here, and while I could make a whole bunch of videos about some of the other categories, what I'm really just focusing on in this video is vlogs. And I can tell you with 100% confidence, as someone who's seen a lot of vlogs, they're all exactly the same. And it all starts with one thing.
the clickbait title and accompanying thumbnail. A lot of people have talked about clickbait before. I think Anthony Padilla had a really good video about clickbait and how it might be ruining YouTube. My problem with it is that it's so commonplace now that people don't, it's like it's accepted that you need to make these ridiculous all caps titles to get people to click on your video. And what frustrates me about this is that 9 times out of 10, the title doesn't even happen in the video. It'll be like, oh, my friends beat each other up and they were just pretending or something, but that's the title of the video. Oh, I got herpes, but you find out in the video he's like, oh, I just thought of a good clickbait title. I'll say that I got herpes, but it was a joke. But it's like 15 minutes long and you watch the whole video waiting for him to say he got herpes. I think what frustrates me about this more than anything is just the fact that people are lying to us. Why have we accepted that this is what we deserve on YouTube? Aren't we lied to enough already in our normal lives? And then on top of that, what bothers me is that these people who make these vlogs every single day, here's the thing, guys, not every day of your life is gonna be interesting. That's just not how it works. You're gonna have a day that's just boring, but they still find a way to make it seem like their lives are so interesting and you have to watch because a crazy thing happened. I don't think this is true about every single person who makes vlogs, but for the most part, the ones that are dominating YouTube right now, that's kind of who I'm focusing on in this video. Anyway, I talked for a while. If you disagree with what I said, feel free to comment, tell me why. I'm open to having a discussion. What do I know, you know? Hopefully for your sake, you just skipped this intro and went straight into the video. But without further ado, here is my parody of every single vlog. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone and welcome to my vlog. I made it seem like I just woke up even though clearly I didn't because I'm fully dressed and I did my hair and I have more energy than I normally do when I wake up because I've already drank coffee. Today's a big day because we're gonna do the thing that I said we're gonna do in the clickbait title, and I already know what we're gonna do because everything I do is staged and none of my ideas are original. Unfortunately for you though, you're gonna have to sit through like 9 minutes of unrelated nonsense because it's gonna take a while to even get to that point. And then when we do, it's just gonna be like 30 seconds and that's it. Also, I'm shouting to supplement my lack of a personality. Sure, I'm excited to start my day. Let's go get some breakfast. What you making, babe? Looks good. Listen to that sizzle. Anyway, you guys are probably wondering why I'm jump cutting so much, and it's because my brain isn't very good, so I can't form sentences very quickly. In a way, it's kind of like editing out my insecurities. It's the YouTube equivalent of editing out your pimple in Photoshop. Here's a shot of my feet for some reason. Babe, you know what would be really cool for this video? I think maybe if you just wore like a bra and nothing else.
No.
I need the clicks.
No.
I want the views.
No.
I want the money.
No.
She doesn't care about my YouTube career at all. All right, well, we're gonna get going, Spoon. Soon. I meant to say soon, but I said spoon. Even though I'm constantly doing jump cuts to edit out anytime I pause or hesitate, I left this mistake in because it makes me seem endearing, and also the only chance I have of making you laugh is by accident, because I don't know how to be funny. I don't really have a sense of humor. Alright guys, now we're in the car on our way to the thing we're doing, which probably makes you think we're gonna get there pretty soon, but not even close. Also, I'm pointing the camera at my hot girlfriend, not because I want her to talk, but just to visually distract you from how boring I am. In my head, I'm the star of the show everywhere I go, so I just assume everyone just wants to hear me talk. In fact, if she does try to say anything, I'll just edit it out. Right, babe?
Right.
Hey guys, just gonna interrupt the vlog real quick for a really funny prank. Hey Amanda, didn't you say you just needed some napkins?
Yeah.
She has no idea what's about to happen. Loser. Ugh, I hate red lights. Comment if you also hate red lights. Ugh, I hate traffic. Leave a comment if you hate traffic. Alright guys, we're at the place where we're... Did you change your shirt? There's really no reason for me to include this shot, but I'm doing that thing again where I skip forward, do a bunch of jump cuts. Only this time, you can actually see how far I've walked. Look how long it took me to say this one thing. It's like 1,000 feet. Well guys, it's time. You stuck it out for this long and now it's timely fine to see. I said timely fine instead of finally time. Gotta keep that in, that's hilarious. It's finally time to see the clickbait title that you guys came here for, the crazy thing that's gonna happen. I couldn't decide on just one though, so you're gonna see like 17. Enjoy.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, just do it. off this hose to make it look like a snake? Babe, will you marry me?
We're already engaged.
I think that we should get dumped.
Huh?
Maybe we could do something with this statue. Hey, what if I photoshopped a snake onto, or wait, did I already do this? Does wearing your shirt like this make me look kind of effeminate? Wait, I don't know. Do you have the keys? I don't have the keys. Babe, this isn't a joke, okay? Stop filming me. I'm exhausted. What a long day. Unfortunately, it's not over quite yet. I gotta edit. This is pretty much gonna be my life for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. Life of a YouTuber, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Be sure to share it with all your friends and even with people you don't like, and your family and your grandpa and your pets. If they're, I don't know if they're into vlogs, but they probably would find me interesting. And then if your pets could show their friends.
I've been procrastinating this all week, pretty much. I think the part that sucks the most is I love mozzarella. The idea of making fresh mozzarella sounds delicious. The videos I watch, they make it look delicious. But I have to go through all this work to make it, and then at the end, stuff it with a bunch of Italian bologna and pistachios, all because of some dumbass Instagram reel. Well, let's get started. I found this very nice Irish lady on YouTube whose recipe I will be following for this. I love this video because she gets increasingly more excited as it goes on, and it's infectious. Now I'm excited.
Look at how gorgeous those cheese curds are. Oh my gosh. This is so exciting.
I'm so nervous that the largest pot I have is not gonna be big enough for this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Close call there. I just want to drink it. That's the problem. The real challenge of this recipe is resisting my primal urges.
Using a thermometer, stir your milk frequently until it reaches 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius.
I do have a thermometer, but I don't have a nifty thermometer holding device. Wait, what am I talking about? Of course I do. It's called my hand. Anyone else's mouth watering, or is that just me? Yeah, check out those lumps. All right, 90 degrees. Remove it from the heat without knocking my camera over. Another burden in all of this is the need to film every step of it.
Stir in the rennet mixture for around 30 seconds.
All right, that felt pretty thorough. Gotta put the lid on. Come back in 5 minutes. Oh man, I'm really nervous about this.
Okay, the moment of truth. Take off your lid and check if you have curds. And there you see it. It's a lovely wobble and it's nice and thick. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I am delighted.
Well, that's not right. Okay, try keeping that covered for a few more minutes. Not really sure what I did wrong there. The most recent comment on this video is, well, I fucked that up. I mean, I'm using the same rennet. Sets in 30 to 45 minutes. It may take longer. Maybe 5 minutes isn't enough. I might need to give this like half an hour. Pretty similar. It's supposed to basically be a solid at this point. I'm supposed to like slice it. That's why it's so much easier to just never do anything you've never done before. All right, well, it's been an hour. Oh my God. It worked, I think. I just went to the store to buy new milk thinking I was gonna have to do a second batch. This is so exciting.
I am delighted.
Okay. Not quite as thick as I thought. Shit. I think I can still make this work. Whatever big curds I thought I had, they have not materialized. At best, this looks like cottage cheese, but even that, it's like runny cottage cheese. I thought I had such big curds, man. What happened to my curds?
Just look at how wobbly and jiggly it is, just like the way you see fresh mozzarella. We are going to squeeze our cheesecloth as tight as we can to get out as much liquid as possible.
It doesn't feel like mozzarella. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, this is purely just liquid. I mean, she had a pot full of curds. I maybe have a fistful. It's like if you poured a bunch of rice into a pool and then tried to fish it all out. Just soldiering on as if every part of this process doesn't look completely wrong.
Place the curds in your hot whey for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, remove the cheese and stretch it as much as you can and fold it over on itself. When you're done, create a smooth ball by tucking the edges underneath and kind of shaping it in your hand, just like the way I'm doing. Look at this scene. This makes me so happy. I feel like I'm in the countryside in Italy somewhere. There you go. That's it. That's all our hard work paying off right there. This is exactly what I was going for. Absolutely gorgeous.
How's your bread doing?
I think I killed him.
These low-calorie and high-protein pepperoni pizza pockets are the perfect snack you can easily meal prep to take to work or school and can be stored in the freezer for weeks.
For the first time in my life, YouTube Shorts actually did something good for me here. Most of the ingredients you need to make this, I already had from that egg pizza the other day. My dumbass just rolled up to the checkout line at Publix with 2 things in my cart. They laughed me out of the damn building. Also, for your guys' benefit, I went ahead and did the boring part, and you get to watch me attempt to mash all of this crap into these tiny little tortillas. He does this sort of like triangle fold. Okay. Yeah, that kind of works. Wait, how does he close them? I got 2 cameras right now and neither of them are pointed at what I'm doing. So then seal it at the top. I will say, this one's kind of fun actually. Maybe cooking's not so bad after all. It kind of looks like ice cream cone, huh? My only concern so far is they're not really staying closed. I didn't really do that part very well. And now I'm just getting my fingers all greasy for no reason. I also made some of them way too fat, I think. A lot of things I could have done differently here, but too late. Gotta put it in the oven. I don't know if it's just because I'm really hungry right now. But this is probably the best thing I've made so far. I didn't really get it to seal over here, but I don't think that matters that much. I honestly like this a lot. Really, the only remaining test is seeing how much acid reflux I get in about 2 hours. A lot.
Let me show you how to make some incredible crispy beef tacos. These came out ridiculously good.
No, please don't make me eat a delicious taco. This challenge sucks. He wasn't super exact with the measurements. He did say 1 onion, but then just kind of threw in a wad of beef. Looked like maybe 2 pounds. I got 1.5. Hope I didn't fuck everything up.
Make your own taco seasoning, it's worth it.
I made the seasoning mix myself. Why are you looking at me like that? You think I just bought one from the store? You don't know anything about me. Ow. 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 Wish I had longer tongs. Wish I could be like this far back so it would stop burning my fingers. Oh yeah. That looks pretty good. It's not your ideal taco because it's mostly beef. If we had limes, that would go good with this. Do we have limes? Now she likes it. Fellas, if your girl don't like something, just put some lime juice on it. She'll go, The more oil you use in a video recipe, the better you can make something look, but like, it really just tastes like oil. When I was driving back to Publix to get my second onion, my mouth was watering thinking about these. And she said she didn't like it that much.
I'm hungry.
Oh yeah. They look like little turds. Look at that.
The most delicious, high-protein, honey garlic butter chicken mac and cheese.
Somehow I managed to make the macaroni and cheese and the chicken the exact same color.
What are we having for dinner? Tan. Mac and cheese.
You don't like it?
It's a weird aftertaste. This is probably the worst one yet. Not good.
I don't know what I did wrong.
I think it's just the taste of the cheese. I don't like.
The pasta tastes really funky. I get a lot of YouTube shorts or Instagram reels that are like, here's a low-calorie version of a food you like, and they, you know, sub all of the regular ingredients for low-fat or low-calorie version. And the whole goal is to make it look like the food you like. And this looks like it would be good mac and cheese. The chicken, maybe not so much, but this looks like it should be good, but it doesn't taste right. It tastes so funky. I think mac and cheese is just one of those foods where you either need to go all out and just have the creamiest, butteriest, cheesiest mac and cheese that you can, or just not have it at all. God damn it.
No, I can't go out like this. A full week of trying new meals and this is what I ended on? Some stupid little mac and cheese crap? Hell no. I needed to go out like a man. I needed to eat a meal made for a big, strong guy like myself. And that's when I found the perfect recipe.
Spicy noodles, 2 cans of Vienna sausage, chorizo, 2 huevos, and some pickles with 3 scoops of peanut butter.
Now this is what cooking is all about. All my favorite foods all in one meal. An entire day's worth of calories just sitting in a bowl I can slurp up like a dog.
What do you say we dig into this bad boy, huh? I mean, it just has every flavor you're looking for in a well-balanced meal. You got the salt from the noodles, the salt from the chorizo, the salt from the pickle. I mean, there's gotta be, what, 1,000,000 milligrams of sodium in here? Guess I don't need Gatorade ever again. I got a lifetime supply of electrolytes right here. It just sucks that I'm so full. You know, I'd love to eat more of this, but I'm so full. I had a slice of bread earlier, so it's just no room left.
You know, I started this video under the assumption that I'd been holding myself back all this time. By bookmarking posts and coming up with plans only to never follow through with them, I'd been preventing myself from ever reaching my full potential. I now know that I was wrong. You see, every time you actually make a recipe you see online, you're robbing yourself of the hypothetical version of it you'd created in your mind, replacing it with the real version that requires infinitely more work and almost always tastes worse than it did in your imagination. YouTube Shorts recipes are purely entertainment and should never be recreated by anyone. I went into this video thinking I needed to spark some sort of change in my life, move on to the next step of my evolution as a human being. But what I learned is, that was never going to happen. New Year's resolutions are for people who want to change, and I just don't. Changing is hard. Growing, nearly impossible. Whatever skills you learn by the time you're like 25 are the only skills you'll ever have. And as your body begins its slow but inevitable process of deterioration and your motor skills decline a little bit more every year until you die, remember this: it's too late, and you should have started sooner. Thanks for watching. No, I'm just kidding. That would be an insane way to end this video. My actual takeaway here is it's good to step out of your comfort zone, and even attempting to do so is cause for celebration. Don't beat yourself up if you're bad at something the first time you try it. Just learn from your mistakes and do better next time. I mean, sure, I'll never, ever attempt to make cheese ever again, and after 5 tries, Amanda's completely given up on the whole bread from scratch thing. But just because we gave up doesn't mean you should too. And yeah, maybe my other New Year's resolution was to get back into reading, and through one entire month, I haven't even finished half of one book. But just because I can't cook and I can't read doesn't mean you can't cook and you can't read. You do know how to read, right? I guess all I'm saying is I hope the very low bar I set for you today is inspiring. I truly think anyone can be a better chef than me if they even try at all. Also, I linked all the recipes in the description if you want to try one for yourself. Okay, see you next time. You ever watch a wholesome video on TikTok or Instagram and it makes you feel good? I mean, so much of the internet can be this toxic, argumentative wasteland, but for once you're sitting there smiling at your phone. Imagine that. Imagine a piece of content that actually makes your day better. And then you open up the comment section and it's a fucking war zone. Going into 2023 with the same person since 2010. Oh, that's nice. They've been together for a very long time. Clearly they've worked hard and been able to make a life for themselves centered around their shared interest. And I mean, really, that's the dream for anybody, no matter what that shared interest may be. And who cares about this? Cringe. Video gaming is the worst hobby one could have. What a waste of time. Not like what I do, which is spend all day on my phone telling other people that they're wasting their time. I'm pissed. Living behind a screen. Aren't you doing the same thing? No. You have gamer in your bio. Are gamers extremely lazy? Do they ever get up? I like to think that this person isn't making fun of them. They're just genuinely concerned for their well-being. Like, wait, have they really been sitting there for 13 years? I hope they're okay. What if they got stuck? Like, I know that you're opening yourself up to criticism whenever you post anything online. That's just the nature of the internet. But it's crazy that even the most uncriticizable posts where someone is just happily doing something and isn't hurting anyone else in the process still gets criticized. All right, here's another TikTok about dishes. Harmless joke, right? They're just subverting expectations of what you might have expected her to say. So really, there's no reason for someone to get like super pissed about this or anything. Oh, so he's twice as useful as you are. L-girlfriend. So much entitlement, the women that posted this and the women that are commenting on this. Just because you don't like doing it doesn't mean he does. So about helping and being a good person. He rather does the dishes because he knows you'll never do it without moaning about it or showing the initiative to just do it. You just let him do it because you're lazy and entitled, feeling offended when called out. But ask yourself, if you're feeling called out, doesn't that prove my point? This video is 8 seconds long. Slavery. That's right. Someone watched this video and thought, oh my God, that's exactly what being a slave is like. And 5 people agreed? Slavery is when I have to do the dishes, even though I was the one who cooked that night. Simps love to defend this irrational thinking. Imagine if the genders were reversed. I know, right? Then the comments might be insane. Normalize men doing chores. Normalize women changing oil and fixing the toilet and paying the bill. Ah, yes, changing oil and fixing toilets. 2 things that notoriously need to be done as often known as the dishes. Shit, I change my oil every time I drive. Only the best for my car. How often do you even have to fix a toilet? Every couple of years at the most? What are you doing in there? You shitting grenades? Look, I don't know who this couple is, but I'm positive that this 8-second video does not sum up their entire relationship. Like, in my house, Amanda does the dishes like 90% of the time, but I cook 90% of the time. She cleans more often than I do, but I do all the grocery shopping. I don't know, one single chore doesn't tell the whole story. But even still, being in a relationship isn't supposed to be this one-to-one transactional exchange where every chore must be split down the middle and every good deed must be reciprocated immediately. Hey, I just did something nice for you. Do it back or I'm gonna post about this on TikTok. What are you talking about? It's my birthday. Oh, I'm supposed to give you a present too? You would if you loved me. Like, no, you just figure out what works best for you guys, and if something's not working, then you talk about it. Clearly, these people are traumatized from a past relationship where they had to do a chore, and they haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. It's time to move on, all right? You gotta let that shit go. There's another common type of TikTok I've seen multiple renditions of.
See you later.
You've been a great help today.
That's all right. Thank you. Bye.
And honestly, I like TikToks like this because I think this is really healthy and a good thing to point out. Like, having the desire to be by yourself for a little bit doesn't mean your marriage is bad all of a sudden or you've lost your spark. Most couples go through this. Most couples do this. You are still your own person with your own hobbies and interests. It's not the end of the world. Like, sometimes Amanda comes home from work and wants to tell me everything that happened that day, and that's great. And other times she just wants to come home and listen to a podcast and play Stardew Valley for 3 hours. And both of those are fine. That's not good or healthy for couples. Well, this is crazy unhealthy in a relationship. That is terrible relationship advice. When kids are down, it's time to be together. Each of you should have some time to do what you like, but do it while kids are up. One watches kids, then the other. It's a very specific rule. Me and my husband, we have 4 kids. That was in the 80s. All our time was about them. Now that they are growing and have their own family, me and him have some our time. We love being and around each other, but like, he wishing TV and working. I like being at home alone, and when we at home, we talk about everything, and then like I said, he in one room and I am in another. We be married for 40 years, get along just fine. I think she's on my side here. I'm not 100% sure though. If you love somebody, you'll expect to have its company as much as they can. It seems like there are 2 kinds of negative responses to this. There's the people who misinterpret it to mean that they don't want to spend any time together, even though that's not at all what they're saying. This is what, like an hour of their day, some of the time, relax. But then there's also the people who use TikToks like this to just brag about their own relationship. Sad. We like to be with each other at bedtime, even after 9 years of marriage. Wait, you guys have alone time? That's a choice that you make. No, that's great. I'm happy for you. I guess it's just that you must not love each other very much because I spend every waking moment with my wife. We have the same job, the same hobbies, the same friend, us. Our bathroom has 2 toilets and they face each other. A few years back, I actually took a class on how to stop blinking, and now I don't do it anymore. What can I say? I guess I missed her too much when my eyes are closed. Of course, there's a balance to this, as this guy will tell you, not realizing that the people who posted the TikTok would probably agree with him. If you never prioritize your partner and you're constantly blowing them off to just do whatever you want, go hang out with your friends, that's a problem. If 100% of the time you'd rather be hanging out with your boys than paying any attention to your girlfriend, you probably shouldn't be dating her. You should be dating your boys. But at the same time, I wouldn't personally want to be in a relationship where my life solely revolves around the other person. You need time to cultivate your own interests and work on yourself so you actually have something to bring to the table. And honestly, sometimes when your partner is trying to minimize your other passions or turn you against your friends, it's kind of a manipulation tactic. They're trying to make you fully dependent on them so you have nowhere else to go and no one else in your life to point out all their red flags. I don't think a relationship should be about merging into one entity that is useless without the other person. Because if you get too far into it, you're gonna lose sight of who you were before you started dating. Just like with anything though, it comes down to what you and your partner agree on. If you both want to spend 24 hours a day holding hands and staring into each other's eyes, go for it. That's awesome. I'm not gonna stop you. But that's what really gets me about these comments is that for the most part, everybody's just arguing for their own personal preference in a relationship that they're not a part of. If you see a video like this and you think, well, that wouldn't work for me, or my wife and I could never do something like that,
That's literally fine because you're not in the relationship. Like, I just don't understand the need to go around imposing the rules of your marriage onto everyone else. Like, what's the point of even trying to argue with how this couple lives their lives? They've been together for 13 years. If this lifestyle was unsustainable for them, they wouldn't have been able to sustain it. If you see this couple happily on the same page about something and then decide that actually you know what's best for them more than they do, no, you don't. Shut up. In classic internet fashion, though, I found another TikTok that's almost exactly the same as these ones, but all of the comments are angry for the opposite reason.
After our kids go to bed, this is how my husband and I have been spending time together at night. I am rewatching all the Marvel movies, and my husband is over here racing. So we're like kind of together, right?
Now, I'll admit, the vibe is a little different in this one. Whereas the other people were like proudly saying, hey, this is something we do, this is what works in our relationship. This woman seems a little bit more unsure. It also kind of looks like maybe she's been crying, but I don't know her life. I'm just going to assume that it was from the movie. Ultimately, I don't know. And I'm not going to speculate on it too hard because this is an Instagram reel and I don't know anything about these people. Is what I would say if I wasn't a crazy person. She just wants him to do what she wants to do. Yeah, she's not happy. Something's going on. She is low-key putting him down. Instead of just talking to her husband, instead she tries to make a video and post it trying to shame him. Could you cry a little less? Have you offered or shown any interest in playing games with him? Reach into his interests? I understand that you are not enjoying this quality time. Visually obvious. Now, the thing that these comments all have in common is that they're all working off of an assumption. We have decided that this video is not sincere, and since that's now a fact that we all can agree on, it's okay to bully you for it. So I was curious, I found them on TikTok. I just saw this one on Instagram. And they made multiple follow-up videos where they had to be like, guys, can you stop telling us to get a divorce? Like, we love each other, we love our kids, we spend a lot of time together. I was just kind of tired because we both worked all day and you guys are looking into this way too hard. Please stop, it's weird. Okay, so mystery solved, right? And now that we have that context, I would like to present to you one of the most unhinged comments I have ever read in my life. I am certain that the purpose of this video was, we've got this whole history and all I'm asking for him is to sit here and watch these movies with me. I even put on Marvel movies because he likes them and I want to bait him over here to spend time with me because he never spends time with me after all that we've been through. I don't even care about Marvel movies. Right, because Marvel movies are for boys and women can't like superheroes. I'm just making sacrifices to stop enjoying my life, not doing things I want to do or grow as a person, have a hobby, all for him to just pay me the slightest bit of attention. No one appreciates sacrifices they didn't ask for. Do what you want to do. If that doesn't feel like quality time, speak up. If you feel like this relationship is costing everything you want from life, speak up. Otherwise, shut up. Holy shit. We're not even halfway through, by the way. And if you do speak up and that's not what he wants, it's okay to move on with your life. If you feel like you could do better and deserve more, go reach for it. But don't go crawling back just because you don't like the new life you have after you've thrown away your old one and destroyed all semblance of peace for yourself and your family. Stop wasting your time doing things that don't make you happy. You literally have this one life and you're choosing to cry on TikTok rather than make a meaningful difference. Obviously, he's happy and comfortable the way it is, and if you divorce him, he'll probably just enjoy more of his free time after a fucked up dark period of feeling worthless and that nothing that he does is enough, because that's what you're saying here. Nothing that has happened before was enough for you. Absolute insanity aside, he based this entire rant on the assumption that she's pretending to like the movies. Like, you never stop to think, what if this thing I'm making up isn't actually true? That would kind of destroy my entire argument and make me look like an asshole. Nah, I'll do it anyway. Isn't it fun, though, that the internet is so used to just yelling at each other all the time that you can post two videos with essentially the same thesis and cause a riot for two opposite reasons? Social media is so fun. I'm having a great time. Now, if you're anything like me, seeing all of this unasked for discourse kind of makes you never want to post any private information about yourself because people are just going to use it to bully you or speculate on your behalf. You might even think to post a TikTok where you're like, hey, my partner doesn't post about me on social media, but that doesn't mean the relationship doesn't work because he loves me in real life. And that's really all that matters to me. Only to find out that even that's wrong too. God, and don't even get me started on parenting TikTok. I would never in a million years
post a video of my child because I'm just gonna get a bunch of comments from people telling me that I'm doing everything wrong. Like, you'll see a video of a kid falling down, right? I'm not saying I seek those kind of videos out or anything. It's just sometimes they pop up and I watch them, okay? But the kid will fall down, right? And the mom will be like, oh no, are you okay? And someone will comment, wrong, let her get up on her own or she'll never learn how to be independent. And then you'll see the same kind of video where the parent will instead be like, hey buddy, you're fine, just shake it off. Wrong, she's clearly hurt. You were supposed to keep her safe and you failed. And now she'll never trust anyone and it's all your fault. It's like, okay, what am I supposed to do then? Because it doesn't seem like anything is right to you guys. What's ironic about this though is I feel like a lot of these kind of commenters are the same people who will shame young people for not having kids yet. Come on guys, be useful to society, give birth already. And then post about them so we can nitpick all of your choices. Really though, that's just like the whole internet right now. No matter what kind of content you're making, no matter what you're doing, you'll just be living your life. And then someone will be like, that's not how I would do it. Well, I didn't ask, buddy. Now, the last video I want to point out has some pretty insane discourse, partly because I found it on Twitter. I mean, in general, when a TikTok gets reposted to Twitter, it's not usually like, hey, look at this funny TikTok I found. It's like, hey, look at this piece of shit I found. We should set their house on fire.
Whole room, moves cold. Slide in, old hoodie, fresh mind. Eyes half closed till I headline. Talk like heavy thoughts in the deadline. Turn quiet in a ride in a red light. Cheap shoes.
You get the idea, you know? It's a guy who loves his wife and is clearly doing a good job of taking care of her. They seem to be in a healthy, happy relationship. Not really anything to judge, right? This is more disturbing than gore. In what universe is that a superior life to living alone? It's a terrible lesbian couple. Okay, I lost it at the Beyond Meat jerky. I'm sorry, was there like a meeting they all went to where they all decided one day that all the guys like this on Twitter have to change their profile picture to some random dead guy statue? What does it mean? Every time you see someone on Twitter with a profile picture like this, I promise you they're about to say the worst take you've ever heard. The only thing gay here is using a straw at home. Fellas, is it gay to drink stuff? Have you noticed that like everything has discourse now? Everything is a debate, even if it doesn't need to be. And some of it is constructive. Of course, some of it is very much worth having, but then I'll see people arguing about like which basketball player is having the better season or how much cream you're supposed to put in your coffee. Like the fate of the world is on the line. I feel like there's this anger that's seeped into every part of the internet and it's so hard to avoid without just staying off of it altogether. Like you'll see the most innocuous comment in the world that for some reason has 97 replies and you're like, huh, what happened here? And the most recent reply will be like, no, I'm not the one defending genocide. You're the one. And it's like, huh, how did they, what? Who even brought that up? And I think what really sucks about it is so much of it is by design. Like there were those documents that came out that showed Facebook's algorithm was more likely to suggest something if a lot of people were using the angry reaction emoji. And then outside of Facebook, on Twitter, I've noticed that a lot of times the tweet at the top of a thread is not the one with the most likes, but the one with the most replies because it's the most controversial. It is the most likely way to stretch out the amount of time you spend on that thread because now instead of just the one original paragraph, there's now dozens of insane ramblings for you to scroll through. Even Instagram is starting to show some of the worst comments near the top. That's how I found the ones in this video. I wasn't scrolling to the bottom, they were at the top. And it's all because a computer told them that these kind of comments increase engagement. Let's not worry about what kind of engagement. Let's not worry about the fact that this specific kind of engagement actually makes people feel like shit and they're worse off when they leave the app than they were when they came onto the app. And not only is this making the overall user experience more negative, but by showing the hateful comments to more people because you know that that's what will get them to interact with it, aren't you like actively encouraging people to write hateful things? Like most of the time, if someone's being an asshole online, they're just doing it to rile people up. They're doing it to get a response. And if the algorithms did a better job of flagging and suppressing those things, then maybe after a while, those people would be like, it seems my efforts are fruitless. This is no way to spend my days. I need to get my shit together. And then they like put on a suit and tie. But from like the user side, our side, I don't really know what the answer is besides just like spend
spending less time on the internet. It just sucks though, because sometimes it's really fun, you know? Sometimes I don't get pissed off at all. I just laugh a lot. I like the internet. I like connecting with people across the world. I like finding new talented creators and following them and seeing what kind of stuff they make. There's so much good out there. I wish it wasn't so depressing sometimes. Anyway, for all the people who have sat through this whole rant and didn't care because they don't really listen to me when I talk and they only watch these videos to see the ad read at the end, you're in luck because today's video is sponsored by Factor.